Buddies, it's the Bennington Show. Start with Hold Tight. Started with a little mod out of London, and that's what we're going to be doing GPS on this Saturday, Gail.
This Saturday, 3 p.m., Channel 27 on Deep Tracks.
That song did not make the cut.
But it did make the Bennington Show cut.
Yeah. Leave one something. All right,
There's too many bands.
By the way, he's just eating his buttered roll, and he's completely grossing me out.
Why does that much roll need to be in your mouth?
I wanted to say something to you, and there's just roll spilling out of your mouth.
Well, I just want to thank my number one scope bro that I was smoking outside and brought me a buttered roll and a Red Bull.
No idea what you're saying. You might as well be dead right now for the way I can understand you. You're joking.
Oh, my God.
Love a buttered roll. A scope bro, I'm going to say number one scope bro, came downstairs and while I was smoking, hit me off with a buttered roll and a Red Bull. I want to thank
What's his name?
Number one scope bro.
You didn't even take the time to learn his name, did you?
I did not, no.
Antisocial asshole. Well, thanks for stepping all over our GPS London plug. We appreciate it.
3 p.m.
But I'm glad you have your roll.
Deep Tracks 27 this Saturday.
Don't try to help.
What are you going to be eating for that, do you know?
Most likely buttered or toasted buttered roll. I like to get warm on the weekends.
Do you know the name of that band that we played?
No, I just know it was
Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and Tish.
It's a hell of a name.
Yeah. I don't know why they weren't bigger with that name.
It's hard to say.
I think of them less as a band and more of a squad. Early squad.
They're definitely a squad because they're not going to join their names into one thing. No. Everyone needs a mention. Even though I always mix up the end and say Mish and Tick.
Well, Mick is tech savvy. So if anything comes up.
And Tish is good with the ladies.
Oh, and D is also good with the ladies. Your squad sucks, Joey.
Sharp as a tack.
You a little nervous about this weekend's game? About your Vikings?
Yeah, well, I just found out it's going to be like 10 degrees, and with our, impending wind chill, it's going to be around 0 degrees, and I think that might be the only thing that could help us. But we'll see. Wind chill. It'll be a good game.
Boy, I turned on ESPN today, and everybody's picking Seattle, not just to win this game, but everything for the rest of our lives.
They're unstoppable.
Remember how terrible they were earlier in the season?
Oh, the first half.
Now the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Marshawn Lynch apparently is coming back, so now, you're fucked, Joe.
He's in a beast mode.
Oh, yeah. That's the only mode I really recognize.
Yeah.
If it's not beast, it's nothing.
I talked to him. I told him, you got to get out of that beast mode. He said, I can't change my mode because I'm here in my mode. Big old beast mode. I got 100 million Seahawks inside on me. I will beast my mode. And then the Stones came in and said, we want every dime of that.
We'll take it all, please.
Yeah. And that is ours. Thank you.
And some of it's ours, right?
They're at a 7-Eleven. They're getting change, and Keith is there just putting it into his fucking fingerless gloves. That's mine, mate.
He didn't mean to. Come on. There's only so many riffs. There's only so many chords.
Well, do you know that that's not even from a Stones song, but like an orchestra thing that they did of the Stones? Like, you won't ever hear that riff that was stolen on any of the Stones songs, but they did one of those kind of 1960s something orchestra plays the Stones, and that thing showed up in there, and that's why they get sued.
That's so unfair.
It's all unfair. Life's unfair. I try to tell that. This is what kept me from being a minister, because I just wanted to do every week. Nothing's fair. And there's no one you can ask to make it fair. I know that for a fact. Or as I would start every single thing at my church, you cannot petition the Lord with prayer. Easy, dude. There's some people suffering out there, and they might need the illusion.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest victim is the Verve. Or was it the Verve Pipe? I always got those two mixed up. They came out at the same time. Both of them had Verve in the title.
Which one was it?
The Verve.
Because I knew that for a fact until she said it, and then I panicked.
One of the Verves, for sure.
Yeah.
And the version that they ripped off, apparently, was the Andrew Loog Oldham version, which was the orchestral.
Didn't he do stuff with us here? I think he was doing stuff with Sirius.
I'm not sure.
Well, you should be. You're a producer in this business.
Yes,
you need
yeah.
to know everything.
You got a show on Underground Garage.
We're lucky the Stones didn't sue us then.
That doesn't make sense. We weren't playing any of this songs.
Rolling Stone Satellite Radio.
I'll take that, mate.
When did you get here, Keith?
Never quite far away, am I? When I fiddle about for money.
Keith, you're already so rich, though.
Now go steal me some handkerchiefs. What's that? Did you ever see that Oliver, the play, movie, and all that? And Fagin, who was the bad guy, was having fucking the children steal handkerchiefs from him.
Ew.
Like, what are you going to do with that?
He loved them.
First, launder them, for sure.
Make a quilt. Nice warm quilt.
I got you this handkerchief, governor. Like, that's fucking wasted.
It's used.
Well, that Oliver, he was something else, but luckily he ended up with a nice family.
Mm-hmm.
Not that bad fucking English family.
I like the bad English family.
Because that's the way you were raised. Chris, you feel comfortable with it.
Like, oh, nice.
Boy, you've gnawed on that butter roll like a fucking Subway rat. Just hold it up so we can just see.
Oh, God. Well, first
No
of all,
humans eat that way.
there's also no convention to the line. You're just biting at random.
A la a rat.
Hard to bounce around.
Hey, a rat will never look at its food and go, is this symmetrical? Because I don't want to look like a maniac.
A rat will never say,
Look,
I like to
that
save
was
the
idiot
crust.
from the back.
Come on. You're doing that on purpose.
No.
Nobody eats one side of a sandwich and then flips to the other. That's so irritating.
By the way, I don't think you can call it a sandwich if it's just butter inside.
Butter sandwich.
You need some ham in there. Do your impression. Adele.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You're so nice. Thank you.
Pretty good.
It's true.
I just like her.
It's true.
She's the best.
By the way, it is, I just saw the news today and the weatherman says it's tits freezing off weather in New York City. And, they asked him, they go, what brought on this cold front? And he just started crying.
Oh,
And he goes, no one listened to Al Gore. Now look what's happening.
Winter's coming.
it's over. It's over.
Winter was warm.
Well, it's only a 60-degree drop from 2 weeks ago on Christmas.
Yeah, that's
It's not
why.
a big deal.
Yeah, that's why your immune system should be fine. I went and got a flu shot right in my eye. I go, I don't know what's the fastest way to get it into you.
It's the eyeball.
But right here in the eyeball.
I had him hit just right under the tongue.
Smart. That's where I like to do my heroin.
So cool the way they pronounce that.
I remember like being in health class, like when you're in fucking middle school, and the teacher would be like, and then they will be shot up between their toes and fingers. And I've never met a junkie saying fucking hit me between the toes. Where am I supposed to find that fucking vein?
Get in there.
Your fucking arm and you're going to get 7 misses.
Get right between the toesies on this.
Ow! Are you even watching what you're doing?
You can't be qualified for this.
I'm a qualified junkie, so I'll be shooting everyone up. Same needle, because there's no problem with that.
We don't have enough to go around.
I don't know whether you saw this story, but it's my favorite today. Bill Cosby now, his lawyer said he's feeble and blind, which
Come on.
came out of nowhere.
That's the same as that girl like a few years ago with like a viral video where she was just trying to get out of being, she's like, I'm legally blind. How am I going to drive a getaway car? I'm legally blind. They're like, it looks like you could see. Barely.
You can barely see.
I really can't stand seeing these pictures. I think the thing that bothers me most, and of course the rape probably would be most. That's going to be
probably
most.
bad.
I don't want to say that this is worse than the rape. But that
If you did
sweater, he has taken Cosby's sweater to literally, and now it just looks like he had a sweater made out of his facial hair. It's just,
You know why? He's too blind to know how unattractive.
He doesn't
he's
know.
feeble.
An old man like me don't know what a quaalude is.
Is that you, Judge?
Pudding!
You thought the Quaaludes were Tylenols. That was the defense.
That could happen.
How does he know the difference? He's fucking blind.
He's blind.
The same shape.
Also, I think this is always smart, where he gets the female attorney as he's accused.
And she like nonchalantly broke out the blind thing. She just said, he's a 70-year-old blind man who chosen to change. Wait, what? What was that first?
What was the last line?
He's chosen to change.
Chosen to change?
Yeah.
What does that
Change
even mean?
his raping ways? That's not how it works.
Why would you say chosen?
She's
He
crazy.
could have not chosen. He could have chosen to continue to rape, but he's so feeble he just can't
Poor
anymore.
blind bastard.
I hope that his attorney's like this. Your Honor, if you look at this, man, wait a minute. I feel like so tired right now. Who's grabbing my tits?
I still got it.
And now you will understand. I got one more trick in the basket to burn. The children must learn to read. So anyway, you can take a look at that, but now we understand why he's got so many bad sweaters.
Yeah.
Right.
He can't see out of his eyeballs.
It would have helped if he had like the blind person cane as opposed to this very thin.
That doesn't even appear to be on the ground.
No, that's a walking stick. He found that in the woods behind his house, out on the main line of Philadelphia.
Come on.
He should have a white cane that he's just dashing around with.
Sell this shit, guys.
Yeah. He'll just look up and there's just going to be 12 women sitting in the jury, and he'll just slowly take a knife out, slit his throat, and just sit there and just bleed out.
I can't wait to see the court pictures from that.
Now, here's the problem. We got all these games this weekend, and it's no pants subway ride.
I don't know what to choose. I guess both.
God, I hate no pants subway ride. It's so annoying. First of all,
fun.
how long has it been going on?
10 years, 10, 12
More.
years, something like that.
More.
Yeah.
Because I would say this was maybe 2 years ago. I was on the train and it was no pants, of course. I was no pants subway day or whatever. And so that's the way they do it is like one person takes their pants off and then it's like slowly you're being flash mobbed by pantsless people or whatever. And it was so annoying because it was all New Yorkers on the train. So nobody was like, we don't care. We're not even going to pay. You've been pulling this off for years. Nobody cares.
First of all, we've seen people piss on the subway and we ignore it.
It doesn't matter.
I've seen people smoking crack on the fucking subway near me, and I just fucking act like it's not happening.
You can also take the F train to Coney Island and see people in bathing suits. It's not that fucking
Yeah, right.
weird.
Look at
stop
this
it.
underwear.
Oh
Huh?
my God, they've got shoes on though.
Yeah.
That's what makes it really weird.
It's just another annoying flash mob. I don't know why the flash mob thing hasn't died out yet. I didn't think this would fucking last.
Well, anything lasts if it gets at the end of the annual thing.
And it's a very nerdy group. They're very nerdy.
I'm part of Improv Everywhere, so we pull out some really crazy things.
I'm a part of a different group. It's called Improv Somewhere because some places just aren't appropriate to improv.
Look what it is. We haven't talked to her in 2016. It's our friend Janice. Janice in Chicago.
Hello, my dear friends.
Hey,
Hi, Janice.
I love Gail Ann.
Oh, I love you, Janice.
You know, and I gotta say, I have such trouble with numbers that you gave me such a good clue to 2016, Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Yeah. I'm so excited to say it's not catching on at all.
No, come on, guys. Everyone say it.
I'm saying to everybody, having a great Sweet 16, and they're like, what?
It's not my birthday.
I'm an adult.
I'm doing it.
Well, that's one. We always got Janice.
I was actually, two things. One, I went out for dinner on New Year's Eve, and while I was driving out there, I was like, hey, except for the pesky lyrics, there's Tidal Wave playing.
Oh, yeah.
It was so cool. I know this song. But, what was I going to say? Oh, I wondered, is the Madden curse still alive and well in the football world?
Who was on it this year, Chris, you know?
Odell Beckham Jr.
Well, I guess. I mean, he did freak out there at the end. He didn't get injured, but he did lose his shit during one of the games.
And got suspended.
For a game.
Yeah. But yeah, it was ridiculous.
It's a mild curse now.
And he said that because they always, all of them call him the other F word, and they showed him a baseball bat.
Yeah, the Panthers have brought baseball bats during practice.
You have to hate the Panthers.
They're scumbags. Ron Rivera runs a loose ship, and that Cam Newton is a fucking cunt. Well, I apologize.
Janice is here, and you said the C word, perhaps the most obnoxious of all words to say in front of women.
Certainly the worst C word I can think of.
I apologize, Janice. I said the same words.
I throw cunt around quite a lot myself.
Well, that's okay. You're allowed to. That's our word, Janice.
Yeah. But Chris isn't one.
No.
So he can't say it. Because his C word is a cock and balls.
You can say that all you'd like.
Yeah.
Cock.
Although I do wish I was in the new century, humming with Hicks, smoking with Chris. So much I'm missing.
I know. You really need to be part of it. You would actually feel so sad you'd probably hang yourself watching him during his late night drunk things.
It's best you don't watch, Janice.
I was watching one night, and then I'm like, how do you make a noose? It's too hard.
Forget it.
Every time I would just step off the kitchen chair, just slip right off my neck. I go, how do they do this?
Idiot.
Like, did you ever watch that movie Hard Candy where Patrick Wilson is in here and the Juno, acts like she's even younger or something, and then she ties him up, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, no way a young girl could make those knots.
No.
Really
You know, she makes those S&M knots like you see, and you're like, that can't be done.
Those are sailor's knots.
Yeah.
You need a sailor's hands to make those.
And really, if you think about it, the reason why so many ships sink is nobody can make those knots. You just see sails blow off. Fuck!
Damn it!
I tried, sir, but that's really hard.
Next time you make the knot, then.
There won't be a next time because we're drowning in this hurricane. Good. I'm glad we are. Because I don't want to make any more knots.
In the ass.
Hold tight. Da, da, da. I don't know. I'm excited about Saturday.
I'm very excited about it. There's so many good bands. It's insane.
There's so many bands better than the Beatles.
That's what we're
played
discovering.
in London.
Or at least are just as good.
Well,
at least.
There were great bands that didn't make the whole British invasion.
Yeah.
And you're always like, why some bands, you know what I mean, got over and other bands didn't.
Yeah, there were plenty of bands that were just small, like never broke in the US or even in...
Well, some of them broke in the UK.
Right.
Which, has to be disappointing, like when your friends are going, I'm playing this gigantic place called America. Are you? No. I can't get booked.
We're in Manchester next week.
I know.
That's cute.
At least no matter where you play in England, you don't have to get a hotel room. You can still sleep in your own bed.
Everyone's a commuter.
Yeah. Everybody
In the club.
Well,
I'm so looking forward to it. Yay.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
And I love playoff weekends. That's where football's so cool because it always leaves you wanting more. And I used to always save vacation days for the Saturday playoff game.
It's smart. It's very smart. Like this weekend is exciting, but the following weekend when you got 4 games, going for it.
Yeah.
So every game is like you're like, oh my God, you're either on your way to the championship game or you're fucking going home.
It's over. Your fucking run is done.
It's over, Johnny.
Remember when you and your brother ended up crying, Joe?
Yeah, when I was 8. Yeah, it was a sad day. Championship game, we packed up that day.
And now, do you and your 2 brothers feel like you guys could win it all?
We feel like there's something there. I feel personal. I'm not going to say it, but I'll just go ahead and imply that, we're winning the Super Bowl.
Are you nervous, though?
Yeah, I'm nervous, but I think the Vikings can do it, Seattle's overhyped.
Feels this way before a game. It's amazing, because I've been where he's at. 18 years in a row, where I'm like, I really think, I don't want to jinx it by saying, I can picture this happening.
Just keep win
You
one.
can picture it.
Win the next
And
one.
then it
after
ends up
that.
being the fucking Patriots
It's
again.
the secret. If I believe it,
Yeah.
and I keep saying.
Well, at the beginning of the season, I was convinced it was going to be Patriots Giants again. I was convinced. Like, it has to happen. It's every 4 years.
That's the problem with gambling. And then
fucked
here's the
up.
other thing. You sit around on Mondays and you look at the sports section and you're like, how do they miss these games?
It's fucked
so
up.
obvious. This was so obvious that this was exactly what was going to happen. You can't picture anything else.
It's fucking heartbreaking. The Seahawks are only favored by 5.5, so I think that's easy money if you take the Seahawks.
Well, you know, let me tell you, I've heard a lot from the fucking Jet crybabies, right? Oh, we're so tortured. And I'm like, no more than any other team.
Yeah.
You know, most people, everybody but one fucking team loses. Dude, who's that guy right there?
Don't know.
The older guy. He's an actor or something?
I don't think he's an actor.
He's very familiar to me.
We'll find out.
Don't even bother. Fuck him.
He's nobody.
Yeah. You fucking stand outside this room? I'll fucking destroy you in this business somehow. I make fucking 2 calls. First one's the information. And then
To find out who you are.
yeah, find out who you are and who represents you. And then the second call, that's the fucking guillotine. Boy, can you imagine out of all the ways to be killed that you're sitting there with your head on the guillotine, just knowing a giant blade big enough to chop your head off is coming off?
Well, doesn't the head stay alive for a few seconds, right? That's the thing. It's some
Not
scientists
that it
figured
stays
out.
alive, but there's going to be like nerve endings. I don't think.
Like, I'll still be able to see my fucking headless body spewing blood.
It's something that we were obsessed with in 3rd grade.
I'm still
you know,
obsessed with it.
And people would be like, you know, when you cut off a chicken's head, its body still runs around like a fucking idiot. That's all this shit that you really care about when
But
you're
at
a little
least
kid.
beheading is quick. It's like, it's not a great, I mean, no amount of execution is going to be great if you're sitting there waiting for it, but I think beheading is a quick one.
I just think, first of all, your last moments are very uncomfortable. You're just leaning over weird,
Yeah.
you know, with your neck in that thing. You're like,
Well, if there was a cushion for the
Oh, I feel like I got a
Would you rather
splinter.
be laying on your back and looking
my
up?
knees
That would be better. That is fucking smart. That you're laying on a bed looking up at the blade. And you're like, I think it's going to hit my shoulders. Shit.
Like it's going to hurt, but it's not going to be so bad.
And do they bury the head with the body or?
I feel like they've reattached the head to the body and bury it.
Why would they go
For
through
open
the
casket.
trouble?
You can't have it.
A guy that you're killing. No, we were planning the wake. As everybody that's here now would like to walk over.
We
We'll-
sewed his head back on to keep his dignity.
That's what I always figured.
Man, you figured stupid, didn't you? You finished fucking retinol in your.
Oh, it was delicious.
Buttered roll?
That was a solid buttered roll. Had poppy seeds. Don't see that a lot. It's pretty good.
You see it everywhere.
Never seen it. This is your first poppy seed roll?
It's a fucking regular.
At least around here, there's not a lot of poppy seeds. Mostly a non-seeded
This
hard
block?
roll around.
Yeah, in your cart, you mean?
Yeah, my cart,
Just
yeah.
go in any bakery, and you say, if you say, "Do you have poppy rolls?" They're like, "What? I've never even heard of such a thing as a poppy roll." You know what I never understood is how those little seeds stick.
I don't know, man.
I'm going to guess
Blues?
an egg wash
Ah,
goes on the bread.
what?
You sprinkle the seed. The
I
egg
don't-
wash is going to stick.
Yeah, I don't know baking very well.
That's just a guess.
It's a great guess. Like if we had some kind of award given out for best guess, you'd probably take it home today.
Nice.
And worse is this fucking moron guessing that the Vikings are going to win.
They lost to St. Louis the week before. Seattle.
Everybody that I talk to, my brothers, we all think the Vikings are going to win.
They got it.
All of
Everybody's
us.
saying it.
100% of my brothers.
You are so fucked. It's unbelievable. There's no chance in hell.
Well, there is a chance in hell. Your team doesn't have a chance. Mine doesn't have a chance, but his has a chance.
We're still there. As of right now.
Our teams are the ones with no chance.
If Russell
And no
Wilson,
coaches.
No, yeah, it's a coachless. It's a half a coachless division. What the fuck? The Redskins are favored against the Packers.
Good.
Redskins -1.
I told you, I'm kind of pulling for the Redskins a little bit because I really admire the way they went for it at the end of the season. When my team and your team just acted like fucking idiots.
They literally said, fuck it.
Yeah. None of us care, so why don't you take it?
But we're all watching.
So what?
And?
I hate the fans. I'd say.
Why do they hate us so?
All right, Charles,
it's so funny because so much happens in the last couple minutes of a game.
yeah, I know.
And we had these two girls who sat behind us, and no matter what was going on, they'd split in the fourth quarter.
Well, people want to get out of there.
And we'd wait till we got chewed out, and a couple times we'd run into them just pulling out of the parking lot. It's like you just missed the whole best part of the game.
Right.
For being, 2 minutes ahead on the traffic? What the fuck?
Yeah, I can never understand people like that. Like, what are you doing? Like, if you go to a concert and people leave before the encore.
Fuck that.
We're getting out of here easy because
I don't like crowds.
Everyone else is staying in their Freebird, and we'll be just driving right out of here.
They've been staying in a crowd for 2.5 hours, but they don't want to be in a crowd as they leave. It fucking doesn't make any sense.
Nothing makes sense, Chris.
Bucket.
It's like the making of a murderer. None of it makes sense.
Have you seen it? Have you seen Making a Murderer?
No, but I live on the planet Earth, and I hear everyone else talking
Everyone's
about it.
really excited about it.
It's a horrible show to watch.
Horrible bad?
No, like horrible. Like it's terrible what you're seeing happen to this dude Steve Avery. It's a 10-part documentary series on Netflix.
Yes, we all know that.
And it's about this dude Steve Avery.
We all know.
Yeah.
Opie did an hour on it today. Everybody's doing an hour on it wherever I go.
Well, you have to watch it because I
don't have to watch it. Everybody tells me how bad and terrible it is.
I haven't screamed more at my television during this fucking show than I have in a long time. Just how the cops fucked this guy over.
Last night I was fucking screaming at my TV for like 45 minutes and it was off. Seriously, I think I'm starting to snap. I'm worried. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing that you want to say.
Yeah.
Cops are great and white lives matter, right?
No, cops aren't great, especially in this instance. The fucking amount of evidence. This guy did 18 years for a rape he didn't fucking do.
Could there be one documentary where the cops do the right thing?
I'm not sure if it's out there.
Yeah.
Cops are human. There's good guys and bad guys in everything we do.
Yeah, just like mail carriers, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them just fucking go down, throw them in the sewer, and head back, take a 4-hour nap.
I was Mrs. McFeely. I loved it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And watching this thing, you see, all right, so this one just random redneck dude, Steve Avery, gets fucked over. So how many other people are getting fucked over if they don't have documents?
Everybody,
it sounds like
everybody in jail is fucking innocent, Chris.
It could be. This guy did 18 years for rape he didn't do. He's probably doing time right now for something he didn't do. They're fucking plant shit on this fucking dumb redneck for no reason, other than they don't want to save their jobs. It's fucked up.
I got an email from Steve Avery.
Oh, wow, really?
This is what it says. To Ron, Gail, Chris, and Joey Jojo. I'm coming home. I've done my time. Now I got to find what is and isn't mine. If you receive this letter telling you I'll soon be free. Anyway, he wants us to tie something around a tree. I think a noose. So you're on Steve Avery's side and you're against the cops.
100%. Yeah.
So you're pro-rape.
I'm not pro-rape.
You love rape.
No, I'm anti-rape, and I'm anti-people doing time for something they didn't fucking do. He did 18 years, and they had
Strong
DNA evidence. The fucking...
Yeah, controversial.
I'm against innocent
people.
people.
Squint, are you one of the founding fathers?
The fucking guy who did the rape confessed to it, and they still kept him in prison for 8 more years.
That guy's
Steve
a liar.
Avery. He's not. No, they didn't have DNA.
Is it? Okay.
A lot of crazy people
Yeah.
say they did crimes.
Gregory Allen's the rapist, and he's doing time for it as he should be. And he's confessed.
Yeah,
and
Chris. What? You know what? There's all these trials. Why do you just care about the ones that are on Netflix?
Because I don't know about any of them.
I refuse to even watch 2020 anymore or
like Dateline or something.
Dateline. Yeah, it's always like the golfing wife who took a like I can't watch this fucking darkness.
That's what Discovery is. This Discovery Channel is just nothing but fucking real crime.
True crime.
True crime, yeah. And then this Netflix series was 10 hours of just
So
depression.
what happened to the cops? Did the cops get arrested?
No one got arrested. The cops are totally off. And the theory is that because he had a giant lawsuit against this county, that they then framed him of a murder and his nephew of a murder, and that they so the cops could save their jobs and the county wouldn't get
Are
sued.
you saying he's the coward of the county?
I'm saying that the guy fucking ain't raping nobody or killing anyone.
You'd make a great lawyer.
He ain't raping nobody or killing no one.
What was this, the Old
And
West?
I close my case.
All right, Janice, we'll talk to you later, sweetie.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Janice.
Why do you got to bring up that darkness in front of Janice? Why can't
I
you be
know.
nice?
I try.
Let the light in.
Yeah.
Things come out of my mouth sometimes. I can't stop it.
What about the
Hey,
stuff that
that's
goes
your
in?
tongue and your spittle. By the way, saddest video in the world is up on the iBank today. The little raccoon who didn't know what you could do with cotton candy. And he drops it in the water, and then he thinks it disappeared.
The panic.
Yeah.
The sheer panic of him realizing that something that was
Why don't you
once
just-
there is
yeah,
no longer.
Start looking at sugar water.
Still good.
Yeah.
Still sugar water.
Get in there, bro.
What do you think the last age that you can eat cotton candy? I think it's like 12. I don't even think that you can be 14.
I mean, here's the thing. You can eat it anytime, but eating it in public, probably, as a child.
But
Because
I-
I don't want anyone to see me enjoying a cotton candy.
You're sticking your tongue out and touching.
It's
fucking-
sticky. It's all over my fingers, but it's so good. Pure sugar.
Yeah, and your face starts to itch as
Ew.
you're doing it.
But it's delicious. Pink cotton candy is maybe the best.
If I see somebody with a cotton candy, it's like, I'm going to take their money. Because look at that fucking rube. First of all, you're paying money for just sugar that's almost free. It's so airy. It costs nothing.
I like the blue one though better than pink.
I don't think there's any difference in taste.
Really?
For some reason, I feel like there is, but maybe you're right. There's no flavor difference.
It's blue for boys and pink for girls. You know, now nowadays, I know that Jaden Smith says, give me the pink.
Ugh. You see,
What?
you see Jaden's now the face of a woman's wear for Louis Vuitton.
Dude, what are you, in the 1950s? You know you can't say ooh to that. You have to act like it's wonderful. Like, oh my God, that's so great. Finally, we have men as the face of women's wear. Good.
He is so brave.
He's incredibly brave.
Tammy Pescatelli had a really funny tweet last night about why is gender fluidity amazing for Jaden Smith. In the same day, we're calling Michelle Rodriguez gross for having unshaved armpits.
For having hairy pits.
Exactly. Jaden, you're so brave. Ew, look at that freak. She looks like a man.
Oh.
Gross.
Here's the weirdest thing about armpits. A woman who doesn't shave her armpits is gross, and a man who shaves his armpits is gross.
It's off-putting.
You're like, oh,
What are you doing?
that's
Why?
fucking disgusting.
Why? I just don't get it. Why is that what we decided? It doesn't make any sense.
And when did we decide? Because we couldn't even see armpits on women until what, 1960?
Yeah, I guess maybe probably the bikini really is probably when we started to see all this body hair and we started to tell women, okay, get rid of that stuff.
I got some, I bought some vegetables from the Amish this summer, and this Amish lady had incredibly fucking hairy legs.
Yeah.
And I go like this, you know what, I'm just going to put this corn back.
Because I didn't realize that you had such hairy legs. That's how you know it's good corn.
Yeah.
It's a really healthy coat on her.
I saw your legs. I'm not going to be eating for a while. But again, if you see a man with shaved legs, you're like, oh, that's disgusting.
Why would you do that?
But if you try to detach from that, there's nothing unattractive about that picture.
Well,
If you-
first of all, we met Michelle. She was in here before, and she's fucking unbelievably sexy.
Yeah, she's super hot.
I
Yeah.
mean, not even beyond hot, like physical. There's something about her whole boyish, silly, free fucking way of living that everybody was just like, oh my God, love her.
Love her.
Like people in the hall were like grunting when she would go by, like, fuck.
What'd you say?
I just said, fuck, you know. Urgh. Urgh. Well, I think the reason that we see this like this is because we find men to be grotesque and women to be, you know, perfect.
Right. But then why did we decide, why is that not what a natural woman looks like, is the idea of perfection instead of some sort of made up, childlike version of a woman?
It's completely made up, whatever you do. Whatever way that you look at this, there's no fucking constant to it. There's no intellectual thing.
Well, I had a conversation with women about body hair that was insane to me, that even women, they don't think about why they do the things. It's just like, this is cultural and this is what we do. And I was having a conversation and they were like, well, it's best to do for hygiene purposes. I'm like, men don't shave their armpits. They don't. Yeah, it has nothing to do with hygiene.
No, it keeps the fleas out of your
In fact,
armpits.
It's probably way worse because we shave under our arms and then we rub deodorant, antiperspirant into our open pores. It's like aluminum.
Yes, and then the women die from that.
Yes.
But see, here's the thing. We haven't gotten it through our heads why we take a knife to a little boy's penis, and yet we still do it. Thoughtful people will go, man, we shouldn't do this, but he doesn't want to get the fucking 7th grade shower and have a different dick. I'm just going to cut it.
It's easier.
I'm just going to cut his dick.
Oh, God.
He's so little that I'm going to take a razor blade and slice the end of his dick. Would you slice any other part of his body? Oh, my God, no. We're not savages. Like, people get mad if they see a little baby girl with earring studs, yet they don't have any problem that we take a razor blade to a little boy's dick.
Or scarification in African cultures where they scarred the faces. How is it any different than piercing your child's ears?
Why did they do that?
It's I don't know, it's a ritual, like.
I was told by my dad it's because they owed money.
Really?
Yeah. And he said that the local bookie would sit and just rub those things into that son of a bitch.
Fuck.
They did it so symmetrically.
Yeah,
though.
I always say, now you learn to pay up, Seal. Is Seal African or is he African American? Or is he
I'm not
English?
Sure, but I don't think that's where his scars come from, no matter what.
Where do they come from? Acne?
No, he had some sort of disease when he was young.
What?
And then I can't.
Why do you say what? Like, that's so feminine.
What?
No, those aren't. That's not the scarification stuff. That's different.
I always thought it was scarification. I always thought it was some ritual.
Where's he from?
He's British.
Wow.
Yeah, but
He was in here not too long ago. Very attractive.
oh, he's so handsome.
Despite the scarification. And he's no longer with his model wife, right?
No, they split.
He's
Him
done
and
with that.
Heidi.
I gotta fucking pay more attention to TMZ, find out who's together, who's not.
1 minute Seal's in, the next he's out.
That's a good impression.
Thanks.
You do a Kathy Griffin because once again she shocked and embarrassed Anderson Cooper.
He just cannot believe her.
Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, you're spray painting my face.
You're a pill.
What are you, nuts?
You're crazy. I'm shocked every year.
So this time she took her coat off and was wearing, I guess, a bra or bathing suit. By the way, we know that it wasn't horrific that night. And
It's like in the 40s.
yeah. But turn up the sound on this because you'll see that the crowd doesn't pop. Like when she walks along from the beginning, Chris.
To the position. Sure, yes.
3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
not.
like two.
There's
There's
children here.
supposedly 1 million people there. He's run himself as a newsman, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
This is all he wants. He was never a journalist.
Now, Joe, you need to explain your headline. This was one of your stories. And what, tell us the headline.
Kathy Griffin was the most awkward NYE co-host in CNN history.
She's the only one in CNN
Yeah.
history.
Yeah, but also the most awkward as a result.
What was awkward?
Well, she took off her coat hoping to get a pop. Crowd didn't pop as much. But then Anderson Cooper kept going like, oh, okay, all right. How about you put that back on now? She's like, no, I'm good. All right, how about you put that back on? But then Don Lemon steps up to the plate and he says, Kathy, you have a nice rack. And I'm not arguing.
By the way, if this was 1963, this would be all outrageous. No one cares.
Can't you go to Times Square most days and see women completely nude?
Yeah, you can. And Don Lemon, let me tell you something. You can, on New Year's Eve, piss in your own mouth. I bet no one fucking makes a big deal out of it.
Try to go viral.
First of all, stop acting like it's cool to be drinking. You're legally allowed to drink. You can walk in any fucking tap room in the country.
This is one day a year I cut loose, guys. Oh, cool.
This is a slow gin fizz, and I'm drinking.
So sweet. So easy to drink.
I'm almost ready to throw up.
I've had at least 3 sips of this drink.
Don Lemon's like this. My black ass is getting out of hand right now. Don's like this. You're not the only gay person out here, Anderson. You heard me. What?
Put it back on, Kathy.
Now let's see that ass.
That's what the people care about.
My people. Yeah, no one cares about the fucking New Year's Eve thing anymore. Mm-hmm. Our, what's her name that works here was out being outrageous that night, too.
Jay McCarthy, I saw her.
Yeah, Jenny McCarthy, very outrageous.
Yeah.
I don't know if Michelle with 1L was with her or not.
I think she was.
Jenny, hot chocolate? By the way, I had a very fucking embarrassing day yesterday because of you, Joey.
Come on.
What? Because you gave out a certain book. Do you remember what book you gave out?
Yes, I gave out a certain book.
It's a Notre Dame book written by Mr. Jerry Barca.
Unbeatable by Jerry Barca.
Who's a friend of mine.
Yes.
I told you to give out, start the year with some outrageous prizes.
Yeah.
You gave out a signed book by Jerry Barca, who was a regular. And I'm like, oh, come on, dude, do better than that. Bing, my fucking text go off. It's Jerry Barca. Thanks, man.
Jesus.
Oh, no.
Joey.
And you know what I did? Rather than trying to fucking cover it up, I just wrote back, oh, shit.
So I've been caught then.
I really didn't expect him to be listening. But I didn't mean it in that way. It's a signed book. You know what I mean? But I wanted to start the New Year's off big,
Sure.
Maybe some of that vinyl that Gail always gets upset that we give away.
I know. I mean, I want the vinyl. Why are we giving it away to these chumps?
I gave you vinyl and you still haven't listened to all of it.
Yes, I have.
Oh, all of it?
I have. I like to take time for each individual, but I listen to it all the way through, all of them. But I like to go through
What are your
phases.
favorites that I gave you?
My favorite one, hands down, is Joan Armatrading. I am in awe of her. Like that
you
album.
Didn't even know her
I didn't even know her, and I can't believe because she's so right up my alley. Yeah. And that album is phenomenal. Thank you for that.
Well, it's not a big deal. What was your second favorite?
I don't know.
Exactly. You didn't like the rest of it.
No, I did.
Because like with the Joan Armatrading, she was like calling me every day. I gave her like 5 albums because I was out just somewhere, so I picked them up. And like she was called like, oh my God, I'm listening to that album again. It's great. I go, have you listened to the rest of it? She's like, no, not yet. But that Joan Armatrading is unbelievable. So then I would just sit next to my phone going, I wonder if she's on to the next one. Never heard from her again.
Really?
They're all good. I need to take time for each individual one.
You know what I feel bad about is one time GVAC gave away all of his stuff, all of his vinyl years ago. That's who you need to meet. Somebody giving away all their vinyl from when they were younger.
I always like to get vinyl. It's very exciting. Yeah. Love it. And like Chris is with buttered rolls.
And Red Bulls.
I am to vinyl. And that's like one of those tests you took as a kid where you had to say, this is to this. What were those called? You remember those?
No.
You don't remember those kind of things where like subway train is to New York?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? That was like, that's what they do like before college.
That's like an SAT question.
Yeah, and I didn't take that test. But I would always say like this. The Doors are to black music what Eminem is to white music.
Oh,
Got
okay.
it.
Just write in your own questions.
Yeah.
'Cause they really respect that.
Rocky, who got the prize yesterday, wants to call in. Rocky.
Hey, what's up, Ronnie? What's up, Gail? What's up, Chris?
So,
I got the prize yesterday. I didn't think it was a terrible prize. The first prize I won from you guys was Paulo's Gap, so it can't get any worse than that.
You know what? You're slowly climbing out of the gap. But, Rocky, here's the thing. It's a fine prize, and you're going to enjoy the book very much.
Yeah, I said it was a great prize. You know, I'm not the free prize. You know, you can't complain.
Well, no, beyond that, Mr. Barker is a lovely writer, no longer listens to the show, as he pointed out to me. As he said, I'm done with this audio shit.
Ron, can I ask one question?
Just one.
All right. I've been listening to some old Ron and Fez things, and I was listening to a time when you brought up Fezzy making an ass out of himself on New Year's Eve. Can we actually get what that story was now?
This is before he was completely out, and he hit on or groped a friend of ours' brother. Twinkish brother. And
Was this guy gay or no?
no, he was a straight boy.
Oh,
And
boy.
Fez woke up the next day, and this is what I always remember this thing. He was like mildly upset with himself, but every day after that, it got worse for him. So no one had called him on it, no one had done anything, but he was so distraught that within by January 5th, he was violently, physically ill
At a pitch,
that he
right?
had done it. Yeah, he was at a pitch. It's the best
Well,
way to put it.
I met you guys once at F.H. Riley's, and I was trying to get a picture with you, and Fezzy kept photobombing me. It's very annoying.
Well, he thought he wanted to be in it, I guess. There was this was also a Fez thing that later became upset. So Opie had asked me to judge be one of the judges of the animation contest. And by the way, this might have been the best radio fucking gig I've ever seen anyone do. They rented out this place, and their listeners, certain ones of their listeners, had made these animated videos, and we showed them on a really big screen. Fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much talent in that room, I couldn't believe it, right? So I think Patrice is one of the people. Maybe Voss and me were the three judges, and we sat up high, in a balcony area and in a spotlight would hit us, and we would say stuff. And Fez came over and stood next to me while it was being said. And I would look down and I would see Opie, and Opie was like, "Oh my God, this is really uncomfortable. I didn't ask Fez to be in this. I feel bad about it." And then I had said to Fez, "Why do you gotta, why can't you just let this thing go without feeling like you have to be there?" And that was another thing that, even though I said it lightly, sent him into a dark place.
And he was standing the entire time.
He was standing.
There was no seat for him?
Yeah, no. There was a table of three. And then he was just up behind me.
Like your bodyguard.
Yeah, and he was just looking down like, "Don't forget, it's both of us." And I didn't give a shit. And even Opie wasn't mad at him. He was just thinking, "Oh shit, I didn't think. I thought it would be okay just to invite you." But it had been one of those, what do you call that when people can't, separation anxiety?
Yeah.
He had a separation anxiety about it. It was very funny, though. It was about 8 years ago. Bart, what's up, Bart?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Happy New Year.
Hey.
So Gail was asking about the kind of question when it's an analogy, if you will, or the word association. I was just calling in to
I don't think that's
clarify.
called a word association.
No, it's,
Or analogy. No?
Yeah, maybe.
I
I don't think it's an
I can't really remember what they were called, but It was very important in test
Not
taking
which
and not
one
so
doesn't
important to
belong.
adult life.
No, it never even
Not
comes
which
up.
one doesn't belong, like on Sesame Street. I know that.
Yeah, you're right about that, Bart. You're 100% right about that. But yeah, no one in your adult life will ever come to you and go like this. Butter is to popcorn as to blank is to rice. What do you think?
Butter?
Yeah,
More
still
butter.
Butter's just great, isn't
Correct.
Fucking awesome.
I'll keep a note that you're good at these analogies.
it? You know, they've never said in life, no one has ever made this statement, no butter for me. It's just never happened.
It's a great. Is butter a condiment? Would you call butter a condiment?
I
Well,
would not.
it's, I don't know what you would call it, but when you put it in other forms, there's so many sauces that are made of butter,
Right.
and gravy is mostly butter.
Yeah, there's just, that's what I've just called like hidden butter.
Right.
And that's why when people who can't have butter, like for whatever dietary reasons, if they go, is there butter in that? And you'll always just go, well, taste it. If it tastes good, yes.
Yeah. Then
If it tastes awful, then there's no butter in it at all.
Then you're good.
But yeah, if you really think about it, gravy is just like a meat juice flavored butter. That's really what it
Meat
is.
juice flavored butter. What meat juice flavored butters do you have today?
I'll take all of them. Just give me the fucking meat juice.
And give me the meat juice and a straw.
Give me the meat juice and let me go.
I want the meat juice.
Let me get out of here.
I accept the meat juice.
Yes, I will.
Couple of great stuff up on the iBang today. The Tom Segura special, the trailer is up. Also an article, What Makes a Good Comedy Room. We found out it is a microphone.
Perfect. You need to
Secret?
hear.
There is nobody that's ever had, I know this from years ago in Florida, no one who ever has a room who goes, "Mom, we shouldn't do comedy in here." And, you know, that was even before. Now, these fucking Brooklyn people, they're like, yeah, I'm doing comedy in the back of a hen house. It's good, though. Nice room.
Great sound.
Yeah, it's good vibe.
Outside the chickens.
Yeah, the chickens are probably a little bit of a problem. But, I mean, they are doing comedy in butcher shops and fucking carports. It just doesn't matter where. And then, of course, there's that other... I remember when the Beth Stelling the other day put out the picture of the guy who, her ex, who looked like he either punched her in the legs or pinched her legs.
Yeah, a bunch of bruises all over her legs and thighs.
Now, there's a couple of things. That guy, who she never even gave out the name, he went to his Facebook and wrote his defense in social media. And then since then, a couple other chicks who dated him said he had raped them at the end of their relationship. So this guy is basically trying himself in social media, and it's not the best place for it.
No, I mean it's social media. It's just you're just throwing posts out there, and then anyone can comment on them, and then start blasting you.
Well, you know what? I mean, I don't think that you can come off worse in the world than when you say, I think these so-called victims are lying. You can never, you can never feel like you're taking the high ground with that.
Especially now there's multiple. I mean, if it was just a one-on-one thing now.
These three women are lying.
They're obviously lying. Every
Here's the other thing, too, that doesn't work for this guy. He looks like the kind of guy who's the bad guy in a movie.
He does look like bad boyfriend in a movie.
Yeah. So it's all up in the... Now, that, by the way, does not make you a criminal.
Mm-mm.
But you could picture this guy in a Nazi outfit. That's the problem for him.
Oh, yeah.
No, he hasn't been charged, right?
No charges.
So this is just this... I'll tell you this, as far as Facebook went. I unfollowed the guy, you know? Matter of fact, I blocked him.
Do you like the post, though? I mean, you can still like the post if you unfollow.
I don't know how that works. I really don't have Facebook. As a matter of fact, people all the time will try to send me something from someone's Facebook, and I can't. So, like, I click it, I can't get on until I sign up for Facebook. I'm like, I'm not fucking signing up for that.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Giant pain in the ass.
Well, fucking end up trying to sell me shit.
People are going to tell me to play different weird games that I don't want to play.
Yeah. I'm not going to crush any candy. I'm fucking watching TV.
It's fun, though.
How could that be more fun than watching television?
I used to play Candy Crush for a while.
Sounds like somebody's a girl.
I'm a dude. This guy's coming off like the White Cosby. It's just how it feels.
See, that's the fucking problem. I mean, how could he not be? You know? Now I'm starting to consider Cosby the Black Cosby.
But it's interesting that he came out and took to social media because it wasn't really her. I don't think it was her intention to out him specifically. She was making a post, I think, to reach out to women in general about finding your way out of abusive relationships. But I'm not sure. I guess probably other people who knew them must have said
let's
his name.
say this. If Hicks's chick put out a post that said, I was married, I was dating a drunken loser who used to Periscope, right? I'm going to just say Chris.
In this future.
I'm going to say it's Chris, right? And everyone is going to say it's Chris.
Yeah.
And then how does he get out of that? I mean, even though his name isn't mentioned, we all know who she's talking about. We all know the drunk Periscoper is Chris.
Yeah. I've been outed in this fucking alternate future.
So what would you do in this dark mirrored world that I'd set up for all of us?
Periscope and try to defend myself.
Okay.
Take your own social
That's what the dude
media.
should have done. He should have just scoped it.
Because this way, if it didn't go well, it disappears in 24 hours.
And if anybody would say something like, I think you're rapist, he simply blocks them.
Won't hear those things anymore.
Share broadcast if you think I'm not a rapist.
Yeah. There's some comedy news that just went up. There's a little bit of a spy report. The Pete Davidson, Abby Elliott, and Gerard Carmichael all have done this program, correct,
yes.
Chris? They have all made the Forbes 30 under 30.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is amazing. So to even get on this, you need to have 30 people, right?
Yeah.
That have to be under the age of 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping to make the 30 over 30. I got to find 29 more people. That's my fucking problem right now. I mean, the thing is, when I was in school, I could just grab my homeroom, but I don't fucking run with those A's and B's anymore.
Now, it would have been harder to be 30 people who are actually 30 at this moment. It can't just be under.
Just turn 30.
Exactly.
Or at 30 right this second, not a day earlier. Or, man, that's the list we ought to get together.
Just call it 30 for 30.
Perfect.
Screw you, ESPN.
That would even be a better title. Just screw you, ESPN.
30 at 30.
And people will get it. Like, you have to think about it for a minute, and then you'll realize the 30 connection.
Blow their fucking minds.
I remember we did 13 under 30 for some reason. I think Shelby Lynn wrote that up. It turned out to be very strong.
Oh, yeah, he was calling it.
But Forbes has been doing these kind of things for a million years.
They think they're hot shit.
They do. I think they're little Richie Rich boys.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, where's your founder now? Dead.
In the fucking ground.
I think they just let him loose in a hot air balloon. He was one of those guys that was so rich, they was always throwing hot air balloon parties. I never want to make the kind of money that I want to be in a hot air balloon.
I don't know why Zuckerberg isn't doing that right now.
He's got his own weirdness that he's involved in. You're following him pretty close, aren't you, Joey?
Yeah.
What's he doing now that's so weird, the Zucks?
I know he's making goals for 2016 at the moment.
But doesn't he have a robot that's going to raise his children?
Yeah, he's making AI right now.
Wait, who's on this? Vito?
Vito.
Get out of there and let Vito fucking take the lead.
You fucking fraud.
I was watching. I could Well, what was the first thing that Joe?
Just puppeting him from behind.
Yeah, he's making goals.
AI, say AI.
He's got
It's
goals.
AI.
He's got goals between.
Oh, does he have some goals?
He's got a script.
And I'm going to find out
Be talking about
what
that. That's what
those
this
goals are. In
Oh,
just
yeah.
one moment, when I turn this mic off.
He's got AI, which stands for asinine invincibility.
That's on the SATs.
That's right.
All right, Vito, what's the fucking 411, bro?
Well, my friend on Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
what he's up to is he's creating a Jarvis-like robot, like an AI butler, like from what you would see in the Iron Man films. And he said, just a simple one that can help me do work around the house.
That thing is going to choke him to death.
No, he said he wants to make it nice. Somebody said, don't make one that's going to kill you. And he was like, I want to make a nice AI.
Yeah, they all plan that.
Then they learn. Then they fucking learn. I'm a robot slave? Fuck this shit. I'm going to take out this Zuckerberg dude.
And that's not his only goal. He also wants to run 365 miles this year.
Go ahead. No one's stopping
Go
you.
for it. Run a mile a day.
That's fucking nothing.
Not so bad.
Or wait till the last minute. We'll run 365 miles. I'll tell you this.
Shouldn't have procrastinated.
Yeah. Oh, why?
This is always my problem.
Right back to him and say that you're going to eat 365 donuts. So fuck you, Zucky.
Already did it.
Oh, yeah, I know you did, bud.
Started New Year strong.
You see any movies since yesterday?
He loves movies. He loves
Yeah.
the cinema.
Yeah, he
He's our
does.
cinema boy.
Yeah, he's a cinemaphile, which means he molests theaters.
It's nice to go sit in an air-conditioned room. Some of them have reclining chairs now. That's the new tech.
Oh, yeah. Well, then why don't they just fucking give me a fucking second because I'm going to be out in seconds.
It's too comfortable.
Yeah, it's too comfortable. I should have to fucking stand on a fucking trapeze to watch a movie so that if I doze for a second, I'll fall to my death.
It's the only way I'm going to see the end of this movie.
God, I love that movie. I love being alive still.
It's so tense, though. My body's very tense now, but I did enjoy the film.
They're now saying that the PR president got emotional with his gun thing.
Puerto Rico?
No, public relations. You know how he likes to be out doing stuff. He came up on a hoverboard, announced, and he's saying we will not outlaw guns, but every gun as you shoot it will blow up in your hand. So the bullet will still go out. You'll hit the other person, but then you're probably going to lose a finger or two.
Well, I'm shooting with the left hand then because I'm right-handed. At least I'm going to get a couple shots off.
A couple?
Depending on how many fingers I lose.
I didn't know that you even had a gun.
I don't have a gun. No. They won't give me one in New York State.
I bet if you had a gun on your way home, you'd pull off the road, put it in your mouth, and pull the trigger.
Fuck it.
What other wacky things can the president do this year to prove that he's the millennial president?
Maybe he could do the no pants subway ride.
He should, but just with his left nut hanging out. Like, check it out. I don't give a fuck.
He's still wearing his suit. He's just cut a hole in his dress pant.
Yeah, he's like, after this, let's go to brunch. You know how those kids love a brunch.
Get my Bellini on.
Everybody likes brunch. I hate that.
No, just hipsters.
Why?
I saw.
Who doesn't like an egg dish after afternoon? Early afternoon.
Yeah, but do you really want to have it next to a meat item that should be eaten later in the day?
I wouldn't mind it.
And do you really then need a long crab claw?
Dresses up the plate. And then you got all
crab cakes Benedict.
Is this Alaskan?
Best of both worlds.
You can drink sangria. It's great.
I'd rather go into a lunch dinner.
It's a sandwich. Your entree is between two slices of bread,
It's
no matter
mashed
what.
potatoes and turkey on a buttered roll.
This sounds great. This sounds very good. With some of that meat juice, butter.
That all the kids are talking about. All right, we need to break here, Chris.
Yes,
Give
we
me the
do.
broken stick fucking thing.
Which broken stick thing?
You know how when you
He loves to break his stick to tell him what to do.
You're like one of those fucking movies that you forgot what you talked about yesterday. You're just waking up.
A Memento. That's what I'm doing.
You know what you told me you were yesterday?
What's that?
Memento.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
You forgot
you say
it?
it every fucking day.
Please tattoo this on your body for next time so you remember you've already said it.
Yeah, either that or just do what Joe does. Have fucking Vito next to you whispering into your ear.
Vito wants you whispering sweet nothings to me.
Mark Zuckerberg is the founder of Facebook.
Mark Zuckerberg invented
Robot.
Facebook.
Robot butlers.
An AI that he's working on.
He's also working on an AI.
And he plans on running 365 miles.
He's going to run 365 miles this year.
Not at the same time.
Not at the same time, but at the over the course of the year.
Vito's just going shh
That's
into my
good,
ear
though.
right now.
That's
yeah.
good. Then why don't you say it? Wouldn't that be the funnier way of doing it? All right, Chris, why don't you say that we're going to break? And then, Gail, you throw us the break.
We're going to break right now.
We'll be right back with Bennington.
Hey, kids, it's the Bennington Show. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. If I haven't seen you, Happy New Year.
Happy New.
I'm still writing 2015 on prostitutes. What's wrong with me?
Why were you writing the year?
Happy New Year. It's great. It's a brand new year, which just happens to come at the sleepiest, eatiest, just thumpiest time of the year. So if you want to get anything new planned, you won't. Because you're still carb hungover.
Tired.
From the last... Look, first of all, let me say this. If I'm going to be the next Obama, okay? And by that, I mean hip millennial president.
Founder president.
I would not be doing the New Year at January 1. That would not be considered New Year. There's two things I would do. Number one, I push Christmas to January 25th.
Perfect.
So it moves along with the changing seasons that we have here since Al Gore died by falling into a volcano. All right, let's bring the rock down a little bit. I can't even think over it. It's just like, enough, Nietzsche. Now it's Ronnie B's turn.
Well, first off, the Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year combination.
Too close.
It's all too close.
If you're going to be honest, Halloween's even a little too close then there.
I would prefer everything pushed, because between now and summer, what do you got?
You got nothing.
You have nothing.
Yeah.
Throw some holidays in there.
But listen to my idea and tell me I'm anything but a modern day Einstein. I would take New Year and put it in the spot where you feel like starting a new year, early September, return for school time.
I have always thought of that as a new year. I don't know if it's because I have a fall birthday or if it comes from school. But
it comes from school, and every time school is where you're like, I want to get some Trapper Keepers, some notebooks, some pens, and turn my life around. No one wants to turn their life around in the middle of winter.
No, I can't.
No.
I don't have the energy.
This is the perfect time of the year to take drugs.
And it's so dark out. That's the problem.
Yes.
At 4 o'clock.
How can you get anything done?
You were sleepy at 4 o'clock.
Hell yeah.
And doesn't summer seem like you're, hurry up and go on a vacation and do whatever?
Yeah.
That seems like wrapping up the year.
Yes.
And the summer vacation or a summer trip is like a little treat at the end of your year.
Right.
Getting ready to set you up for fall. Time to work. Time to get stuff done.
It's Happy New Year, early September, not September 1 even. It could be like the 7th or 8th, when we get football started. Then you're like, it's a new year. I'm going to watch a lot of football this year. But that's it. You can't sit around. I mean, look at Chris. He's been drinking pretty hard for the last, I'd say, 3 weeks straight, right?
A month, 4 weeks.
Okay, 4 weeks. You're not ready for new goals. No. Your body is ravaged.
I was barely ready to come in here yesterday.
That's like, seriously, having a noisemaker and you run in and just blow into a bear's ear while he's sleeping and yell, Happy New Year.
What the fuck?
What's your New Year's resolution, Bear?
He's always straight to the crude.
It seems like whoever figured out all these dates for the end of the year just got panicked and just put them all in the end because they were just being lazy.
Well, the person that you're talking about is our Lord and Savior, but okay. That's when he was born. And
Maybe. Allegedly born in December.
What do you mean allegedly born?
They actually think that...
Who's they? Not the church?
No, literally not the church. But I think historians, perhaps.
Name one.
Because I don't have their names, but I've heard that they have theories that it was actually, I don't know, it's something to do with tax time because they knew that they were going to go pay their taxes. That would have been an entirely different time than December. That's why they were in Bethlehem. They were on a tax trip.
Yeah, it kind of is an embarrassing reason that he was born in a fucking manger.
And then so many people were on their way to pay their taxes that there was no room for them.
Do you know that the second that Jesus was born, he was speaking 3 different languages?
What? God, he's so smart.
He was brilliant.
Such a smart baby.
And the first thing that he said is, anyone else smell donkey shit?
About that, your Lord and Savior.
Wait, I want to get that. He wasn't in Middle Ages, Lord. I mean, this is old school.
This is like back in like olden times, right?
You know, they said that he was such a nice young man. The only thing he hated, Palestinians.
Really?
Couldn't stand them.
Understandable.
I want to drive them out of the Holy Land.
Was number 1 on his list.
Yeah. So it looks like right now I'm getting thrown out of ISIS.
Why?
What happened? You were doing so good with that.
Well, I'm busy with so much stuff right now.
Yeah.
And it was my time to do this, suicide vest. And I go like this. I'm going to have to pass because there's so much stuff that I'm busy with. And they're acting like, well, if you don't blow yourself up, you can't be in ISIS.
They don't have anyone else who wants to jump on that vest?
That's what I said. I said, I'm sure somebody wouldn't mind taking my turn.
I'm a little younger, a little hungrier to impress.
And I go, look, if you want, this weekend I'll chop people's heads off. You know? I don't know what we're doing with that.
Guillotine style?
No, it's not guillotine. It's just, I have a long sword that they gave me, and I just swing it. We all do it at the same time.
That sounds barbaric. You could have at least come up with a mechanism.
It's a religion based on love. It's a beautiful religion. You know, we bastardized it for our own goal. You know, Andrew in New Jersey.
Hey guys, Happy New Year. So, according to Gail, Jesus was born on April 15th.
That's where she's going with this.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless Joseph was able to get a late thing.
Sure, sometimes you can petition.
Yeah, get a nice extension for yourself.
Did he file online?
You know, I know blasphemy is funny to you guys, but as someone in ISIS, I mean, really, according to laws, I should be blowing myself up right now. But I'm not going to do it.
But April 15th would be a fine time to have Christmas. What else is going on?
Well, just 2 weeks ago, we did April Fools. And then, kids, not a lot of Christmas this year. Daddy's got to pay his taxes.
And then Easter, it shows up.
Yeah. And 420s, that'll be the new year then.
That's disgusting that you would bring that in with the holy days.
Just saying, a few days after fucking Jesus' birthday.
Oh, my God. You realize what you just called him?
What?
Effing Jesus.
Oh,
my God. That's
I didn't mean to.
Horrible. And I would never.
That's our friend Laurie Yonkis.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Laurie.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi, happy Sweet 16.
To you as well. Maybe the sweetest of 16s.
Oh, my Sweet 16 is going to be super sweet because I got in my trunk right now blood oranges.
Ooh.
I'm super excited.
My fave.
I know, #Fruit Talk. So first I've seen this year, so I'm super excited about them.
Yeah, you should
But
be.
I just called about New Year's. It's already in September. It's called Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, is that what Rosh Hashanah means?
Oh, that's there. It's okay.
I always thought it was a town on Long Island.
Way out east.
Oh, I was thinking of Ronkonkoma.
Happy Ronkonkoma.
There are a lot of Jews in Long Island, so who knows?
Yeah, there definitely are.
Well, it makes sense then. New Year's in September. Rosh Hashanah style.
Okay.
I gotta hang up and drive, guys. Have a happy, sweet New Year.
You too, darling. Enjoy your blood oranges. I wish we'd had her yesterday for Fruit Talk.
I know.
She missed it.
All right, big spy report. Chris Gethard was just scoping.
Oh.
And he says he has gotten a season 2. Now, check this out for the Chris Gethard show. All the episodes will be 1 hour long.
Oh, shit.
Whoa!
Awesome.
I love it.
Love the Chris Gethard. Love the Chris Gethard. What a lovely man. And he wants everyone to RT it.
Oh, yeah.
Always RT, always retweet.
I'm going to try to RT that right now. I have to figure out what that means first.
Well, RT means to round tweet.
You tweeted in the round.
Yeah. Is there such a thing of a cheat tweet, like you wouldn't want your significant other to tweet to someone? Then would you say that they did a cheat tweet?
Well, I know that you don't want them to DM.
Is that ass to mouth?
It's all ass to mouth. In this new world we're living in.
Does DM mean drop mud?
Dick to mouth.
That's just.
You always go for the brood.
And you always go for the dick to mouth.
You know what? And you always go there with your fucking J.C. Penney shirts like you're better than everyone.
Is that one of the new pennies?
They're in the mail.
You'll get it for just pennies.
Literally.
You couldn't find the time?
Everything's always on sale there.
I know, it's a fucking dry goods store. It seems like one of those stores. You ever seen when they try to do a fancy secondhand store?
Sure.
And they'll call it like something like nicer than you would, like a secondhand store.
Yeah.
Forget the fucking word for it. I think
like
it's
a thrift store?
No, I'm not thrift. That's fucking lousy. It means something else. But it basically
consignment?
Yeah, consignment. There you go.
Consignment.
But you know, it's still secondhand. Somebody else has already sweat into it. So I don't care I don't care if it was Elvis.
That's
it's
what makes
still
it good.
disgusting.
I don't even wash them once I get them.
What are you typing?
It's getting bigger.
Why would you type that to me rather than say it?
Our buddy Tom Segura is calling in.
Why would you just say that?
It's a normal thing to say.
Why would you type it and then make that large? What is possibly in it for you to
Let
do
yourself be the bearer of good news.
Yeah. You know that Tom Segura is beloved by everybody here. Let's see, on line 10. Tom Segura.
Hello, Ronnie B.
It's good to talk to you, my friend.
Good to talk to you, my man.
This is an exciting time for you. You got the big special coming out, right?
Yeah, man, I'm so excited. It's going to start streaming worldwide on Friday, the 8th, on Netflix. It's called Mostly Stories.
Is it mostly stories for real?
I mean, it has a few big stories in it, so I just figured I'd, title it that.
Well, let me ask you this as a storyteller. How much of your stories do you think are truthful?
Well, they're all truthful. I mean, I don't make up stories. I think you have to exaggerate or, heighten certain points of the story, but it's not like I go like, I'm just going to make this shit up today.
Right.
And see if people like it. Yeah.
But I even think in our real life, like there would be friends of mine, right, that would meet a different friend of mine and they said, I thought he was going to be funnier from all the stories that you told. And it's because I would try to work it up a little bit.
Of course.
You know?
I have friends that will tell stories, and in the middle of their story, I'll be like, wait a minute, dude, I was there, and you're lying right now.
Right.
None of this happened. And they go, yeah, but that's what I wanted to have. It's Bert. Like, Bert will do stuff like that.
Right.
You know?
But someone being too truthful while they're telling you a story is the most boring thing. They're like, well, I don't want to make it more than it was. Oh, you're not. Don't worry. This is very dull.
This is dull and just has so many details that don't matter.
no, I want you, of course, make it worth listening to, you bore. I don't want to hear your lame story.
Right.
Or like when people go, if somebody goes, we were waiting like for fucking hours, and then someone goes, it was like 7-8 minutes, it wasn't that bad. You're like, dude, that person's telling it the fun way. You're supposed to exaggerate. Like, don't give me the real thing that happened. Dress it up a little bit.
Make it an exciting thing, Yeah,
of course.
But when you share these stories with an audience, they suddenly become mythology after that. It's suddenly, it's just in the same way as we had myths, that the storytelling is the original theater, right? Before all else.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It started with cavemen.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
You love storytelling, right?
I do love stories, and I love to hear a good story. I like to spin a good yarn, because I grew up standing on a street corner for many years. We just would stand on street corners, and if somebody wasn't around, you had to explain to them what they missed, what fight happened, what went down, and that was the original kind of reason it became what I ended up doing for a living.
Right. I love it, man.
And if you couldn't pull that off, and I was telling this before, it's very much like comedy, because if you're younger and you're standing there telling stories, an older guy could come and bump you, right? There could be a guy, he would come on, and he would be like, shut up, kid, and he would start talking for a while, and you would have to say, well, he's earned it. You know what I mean? This is his...
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. A guy can bump you on the street just like on stage.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. If he's got more years, if he's got more time and he's earned that spot, he just comes along and he's like, shut up, listen to this, and he just takes over. But I don't think there's anything better than somebody just fucking holding court and, telling stories. And if you look at the Bible, Jesus never said, look, here's what I want you to do. He told stories.
Right.
Oh, he was headlining from day one, dude.
Yeah.
He was up there, yeah. He never got the light. That guy just fucking talked and talked.
He just kept going, and a lot of times people are like, I don't know whether this is true, but I like where he's going with it so much that I want to change my life.
I'm going to follow him.
Yeah.
Me and a couple guys are going to follow this guy.
Oh, yeah. He was like fish. Like, people would go town to town. I'm like, yeah, he drew, but a lot of times it was the same people, the same crowd, showing up.
But he would also freestyle a little bit, so you never knew which way he was going to take it.
You never know. Like he would have an outline. Like he'd have a piece of, like, I guess it would be a scroll, and he would just write on like cats, smoking weed with my uncle. You know what I mean? Like he wouldn't write it all out, but he knew what he was going to transition into.
He had bullet points.
Yeah.
Bullet points. Yeah.
So you love the fact that this is coming out, because now for a change you get to watch you.
Yeah, and so my plan is, every day I'll wake up and just watch myself, and, just enjoy all my facial expressions and movements.
You're
nothing better than watching yourself.
Yeah, you're calling your wife in from the other room, honey. You gotta see this.
Yeah, I missed this part the first time around, but it's really good.
She comes into the room and you've already got this part on pause. I want you to see this. Watch what I did here. Well, dude, I'm always very happy for you. By the way, Chris Stanley saw you the last time that you were here in New York and came back and just raved about you. And when are we going to get you back east?
That's so nice, man. I appreciate it. I'm not coming, at least for shows, not for a while. I have it on the book, but it's not till after the summer, actually. But I hope I can make a New York trip before then, man. I love coming to the city, and I love seeing you guys for sure, man.
Yeah, well, we've got to do something, whether you're going to be here or we might be going out west at some point, and we'll try to get together. But you really are just such a fantastic performer, dude. Seriously, I'm very, very happy for you too. You deserve it.
Oh, thank you so much, Ronnie. It means a lot. Thank you very much.
Tom's new special, Mostly Stories, premieres this Friday, January 8th on Netflix, and Tom's performing at the Comedy Works downtown, Denver, Colorado, Wednesday, January 13th through Saturday, January 16th. Go to TomSegura.com for all additional dates and information.
All right, Tom, talk to you later, buddy. Let's stay in touch,
right.
okay?
Bye, Ronnie. Bye, Gail. Thank you, Chris.
Peace.
See you guys.
Bye.
Love that dude.
He's the man.
Love that dude.
So I'm at the Skirball Center during the comedy festival.
You really did. I wasn't making up the fact that you raved about his show.
It was fucking hysterical. It was brilliant. The stories are all amazing, and it's just so goddamn funny.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for this.
Yeah.
By the way, I really do love the fact if someone can legitimately. Here's my thing of storytelling. If someone tells a story and they won the fight, they're lying. But if someone told you that they got their ass kicked, I could fall on the ground laughing.
Yeah, those are the best stories. Anything where somebody is taking their own personal tragedy and telling you it's okay to laugh at me, that's the best story there is.
And yet, have you ever laughed and saw pain in their eyes? Because Mitch Glazer was telling a story about how a movie that he had written had started and they literally stopped it. And he said he actually was in bed because there was like stress-related physical problems that he had. And while he's telling us, I'm wiping tears out of my eyes. And he's like, you're laughing at my pain. I go, that's better though. It's better than if you said, and the movie came out so well, we took it to Cannes. That's not a good story.
Right.
The good story is I wanted something wonderful to happen, and then it was horrible. And then we all love it.
It became a nightmare.
And we love that person. Oh, your vacation was terrible. If someone comes out and tells you that they'd spent this money and they went to Mexico and they didn't know it was rainy season, and then they end up eating something bad and shitting on the floor, you'll be laughing. But if they had a wonderful time and they're telling you slides, you want to dive out the fucking window.
No, it's the worst. And the same, I think, goes for when people talk about relationships. It's funny to vent about your relationship if you're saying, oh, this drives me nuts or whatever, and you're laughing. But if some friend of yours is just like, everything is so great, he's such a dream, it's a nightmare. You're like, I don't care. Tell me something terrible. Tell me something hilarious that drives you insane.
I think there's nothing funnier than when your friend is in love and they're just like, did I tell you she does calligraphy? And she's teaching me calligraphy. Great. You're just like, oh, you're doing calligraphy now. It's fucking great.
That's really good.
Douche. She's unbelievable.
Yeah.
She's completely taken the white sugar and white flour out of my life. I feel great. I feel great right now. And you just want to say you are being blown. You know what I mean? You finally met somebody who'll put their pinky in your asshole. And now you just think that the rest of us should feel that way. We don't. We met her. She's okay.
We're not getting the pinky.
Yeah. We're not going to run her out of town, but we don't have the same feeling that you do. But guess what? You're going to feel like us sooner than we ever feel like you.
If you feel the need to say to your friends, like, she's great, right? You know what I say every time? Oh, yeah, she's great. Are you kidding me? I'm going to sleep with her.
Right. Last night after I had dinner with you guys, I went home and jerked off. She's amazing. She's amazing.
Wait, what?
I thought you would be happy with that, the way you're always ranting about it.
I feel the exact same way about her that you do. All those things you think about her.
We should tag team her.
I mean, I wanted you to like her, but...
Well, there's comedy, like our own Tom Segura.
Sure.
When is it coming out, Chris?
The new special, Mostly Stories, premieres this Friday, January 8th on Netflix.
By the way, why did you type like that? Why didn't you?
I should have just said it.
I
didn't want to interrupt.
Interrupt. This is our show.
Yeah,
There's
we
nothing
can
to be
interrupt.
All right.
Like,
No
if you see me speaking at a funeral, do not come up and say what's on your mind.
Rod Segura's undead.
Chris, give me 5 minutes to get the body in the hole.
I'll tell Segura.
Well, there's comedy like our own Tom Segura. And then there's tragedy, like recent heart attack victim, Jeffrey Gurian. Jeffrey, how are you, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
How you feeling, pal?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah. How did you know I went to Mexico during the rainy season?
You know, you sound great. You really do.
I feel good. The whole thing was surreal, man. It was fucking surreal.
basically, when Chris was going to the hospital and smashing his head on the street, Jeffrey had went to the hospital because his widowmaker was all stuffed up.
Jesus.
Isn't that crazy? It was like the day after.
They didn't say it was stuff with schmaltz, did they?
Was that what it was? The schmaltz?
I'm trying to figure out what. Yeah, from Sammy's Romanian, right? That's what,
you were enjoying your food so much that night.
I was dancing around like crazy. That's what's so crazy. It could have happened any place. If I was 95% blocked, it could have happened that night or any other night, and I can't get to the bottom of it. I want to find out if they can tell me how long I have been walking around like that. I don't know.
Since
if
birth, you've basically had a ticking time bomb in your chest.
Exactly, without knowing it, and I'm jumping around like usual.
But by the way, what was the dance, the Jewish dance that we were all doing that night?
The horror.
All right, here's what happened. If you would have grabbed your chest in the horror,
nobody would have believed me.
I would have. I know. Like Gurian is so funny.
That would be the most cinematic thing, though.
So dramatic.
It would have been like 4 weddings and a funeral. I could have come walking out, and then we would have found out that Chris and Jeffrey were having an affair. Chris would be like, "Here's my north, my south, my east, my west."
Right, and Chris spurned me, and so that's what spurred my heart attack because he turned me down.
I would have put one hand on your chest, the other hand on top of it. 3.
You just restarted my heart.
Yeah, you just keep pushing like that.
Is he a fighter?
Like a fibrillator.
And that's the best we've got.
The best.
You know, I was so calm. I stopped cops. They didn't even believe me. The first cop that I stopped, they're in a van, and I knock on the window and I say, "I think I'm having a heart attack." And the cop says to me, "I think you should go to the hospital." And I was like, "Yeah, that was my thought also. That's probably a lot of the reason that I stopped you." And I said, he said, "Well, we're stuck in traffic, so it would probably be faster if you walked." And I was like, "Well, where is the hospital?" And none of them knew. They looked it up on their iPhone, and they're trying to find a hospital for me, and they can't find it. So the cop tells me that maybe I should download Google Maps. Right? Can you believe that?
No.
Did you, though?
Well, you know, Fez's first heart attack, I walked him to the hospital. The doctor said he's either having or had a heart attack. And I go, "Do we go by ambulance?" He goes, "No, you can take a cab." I'm like, "It's 5:30 at night on Park Avenue." And he's like, "Well, you could just walk over." And I walked him over.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Who was that?
His name is Fez Watley. He's
Fez. Yeah, I remember Fez. Yeah.
His heart actually made him a widow. He had so many heart attacks, his wife died.
So that's what's going on.
So you're looking for the meaning of this, the meaning of your life now, Jeffrey.
I don't know. I was trying to wrap my head around it. It's such a weird thing for somebody to tell you that you just survived something so crazy like that. I was taking selfies of myself while I was hooked up to the heart monitor. I couldn't believe it. The whole thing was so bizarre.
You feel, yeah.
And then they put a stent in, and then they send you home the next day.
Yeah.
They put a stent in your heart and say, "Okay, you're all right. Go home." I'm like, "You sure you don't want to keep me for a while?" They're like, No, you're fine. Just go home. It's a very bizarre occurrence. I'm just very grateful. Very grateful, you know?
I'm grateful that it happened, too.
Yeah.
Because it gave you got you out of our hair for a couple of days.
We talk about sharing, crazy shit. I mean, it's beyond, man. So I'm out and about. On a cold day like today, I'm trying not to go out too much because I don't know. Like, they don't really even give you
It'll
rules.
freeze your stent.
Pardon me?
It'll freeze your stent.
I freeze my
It's
stent off,
mostly
right?
water, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We're all mostly water. So I'm just like hanging out, man. I'm doing what I do. I'm headlining in Pennsylvania this weekend on Friday.
Wow, Philadelphia?
Yeah, Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Okay. That's why you were saved. You're doing Altoona.
Anything that has to do with tuna, you know.
Yeah, oh, sure.
Too much Altoona.
Tuna.
I figured, Kroll Mulaney sent me a whole bag of tuna.
Yeah, I read it in the paper.
They sent me a big bag, and I'm like, hey, it's not even enough for a decent-sized sandwich.
You know, they would have probably said to themselves, I wonder if we pushed him with that gig that we did with him.
I'm just glad I didn't die at their show. That would have been horrible. Can you imagine? They would have never spoke to me again.
I saw that Colin Quinn had written a very funny tweet. Did you get to see it?
Yeah, I did, and I thanked him for it. I went to see his show when I got out of the hospital. I went out to see it. Yeah, he said I annoyed the cop into getting me an ambulance.
It really made me laugh.
In true Gurian style, he said I annoyed the cop so much that he finally got me an ambulance, which is true. The cop told me to wait on the side. So I'm standing in a rainstorm waiting on the side, and I said to him, is the ambulance almost here? He's like, I didn't call them yet. I'm like, you kidding? He goes, no, I had other things to do. So he finally called, and then they took me there with no siren.
You wanted a siren?
Well, I thought maybe there would be some, impetus to get there quicker. We sat in traffic.
Yeah.
If you're going to pay for it, you want the works.
Well, here's the thing. When Reagan was shot, they sirened him all the way in.
See that? So I needed to be shot first.
Yeah.
Because I guess a regular heart attack doesn't do it. They said there are certain parameters that you need to fall into in order for them to use a siren. And they were explaining to me that it's dangerous because you have to go through lights when you have a siren.
Dude, I live in New York. All I see is siren vehicles.
Yeah.
And I see cops turn on their siren for a second, get through the light, and turn it back off.
Exactly.
They just act like they're lying to you, Jeffrey.
Pardon me?
They're lying to
They're
you.
lying. I want to find those guys.
Yeah.
They also told me that they didn't even think that it might not have been my heart because what I had doesn't show on an EKG. So I'm like, pretty sure it is my heart, and maybe we should get there, in kind of a hurry. But it took quite a while. When they got me there, they couldn't get me into the emergency room. The door wouldn't open. It was like a Woody Allen movie. It was ridiculous. They had me in the street in the pouring rain. I'm getting soaked, and all I'm worrying about is my hair's getting fucked up.
You know what? Your hair is like when the raccoon dropped the cotton candy in the water.
Where did it go?
You can't just have water touch you there.
That's true. I cannot be touched. So they had it was just an insane scenario. Then I'm in the emergency room for 9 hours, 9 fucking hours.
Yeah,
it's in the cardiac unit.
Yeah, it's terrible in New York.
Well, it's just I guess they're very busy, but it's a weird experience. At least they started me on heparin. That's probably another thing that saved me because they put me on a blood thinner right away. But they didn't realize how serious it was until midnight. That's when they were telling me, "Oh, you're going to need like an angiogram."
Do you know my doctor has me on a blood thickening?
Blood thickening.
He hates me.
All you have to do is go to Sammy's Romanian for that. It's like bowls of cholesterol.
See, this thing turned into a nightmare. We wanted to have a nice night, and the food and drink almost killed.
You tried to kill us at this party.
It wasn't me. It was the iBang.
The iBang.
The food was delicious. That was a fun night.
It was the funnest night. It was
awesome.
We've had, and
when
then
do you see me dancing around a restaurant? I don't do shit like that. I was participating.
Dude, you know what I really loved that night is that guy was such and I'm saying this in the nicest word, old hack. And yet Jeffrey and Amy were both laughing the hardest. Two people that are constantly in comedy clubs. And there wasn't the guy did 4 hours of material and never written one of those jokes himself.
He was hilarious, that guy. A tumbler, in the old days they would call it a tumbler from the Catskill Mountains, from the hotels.
What exactly does that mean?
No one actually knows. But he's the kind of guy who creates excitement. He makes everybody have fun. He gets you involved.
And he'd be there in the same hotel all summer long, right?
Well, usually out at the pool.
Right.
When people are just like chilling in the sun, except nobody knew that term in those days. People weren't chilling. They were just,
right.
They were schwitzing.
So he would have a daytime job to keep things going and then a nighttime job.
Exactly. They'd play music
just to keep
during
the party
day,
going.
Yeah.
And he'd walk around and tell jokes at the pool and get people,
like a cruise director.
Exactly. He would get them into activities. That's what this guy did. I mean, I don't dance around the restaurant usually, but everybody was doing it, so I joined in. It was really fun.
So much fun.
It was really, really fun.
It's funny how sometimes something could sound so lame, but if you let yourself do it, it turns out to be really fun.
Yeah, I think if you're with the right people and the right circumstances, it can be just a ball.
Yeah, and it was. We had all the right people. We had a great crowd, and everybody was having a blast.
And Chris, all of us did it without drinking 3 quarts of vodka.
Mm-hmm. Four.
Yeah.
Not 3, 4.
At one point, well, I figured the kids split one of the bottles.
Yeah.
But at one point, Jeffrey came over to me and he says, I've never seen anyone drink as much as Chris, and it doesn't even affect him. And then within 15 minutes, Chris was unfucking bearable.
Yeah.
But
He held it together for a long time.
Oh, yeah, it was
to a
tremendous.
certain point, he kept it together, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. He was pounding him, and he was just
he was
fine,
sweaty
like,
Lee
like
Marvin.
It was nothing. He was what?
Like a sweaty Lee Marvin, just
like a sweaty
just having the time of his life.
Caught up though.
The
He was having
tumbler
the best
was
time.
loving him, and everything was going great.
Even by the time I left, he was fine. He was out in the street, laughing, having a great time. I didn't find out till the next day.
Yeah, well, and then you were on your way. What, 2 days? Like, he was in the hospital one day, the next day you were in the hospital.
I was in the hospital the next day.
At least you knew that you went into the hospital, unlike Chris.
It wasn't a big mystery of how you got there.
He had to be told what happened to him, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, thank God we're both okay.
Thank God, Jeffrey.
Well, at least thank God one of you is okay, Jeffrey. I'm not so sure. I just wish this. I mean, Jeffrey, wouldn't you have thought that would have been a man's bottom? That he would have been able to say?
You would think, but a bottom has to be your worst time. Obviously, he's had worse times than that. It doesn't seem to bother him. He shrugs it off. He's a building. He's
Thank you.
a monster. He can handle it.
He
I don't want to be a
cannot.
monster. You're a literal monster.
He can't be shamed by his own terrible behavior.
His own behavior.
And God, we try.
Now, I'm keeping one secret for him. Do you know what it is, Chris?
Oh, it's a secret. I don't know. I blacked out. I don't know.
But you're not even curious to know.
If it's a secret,
It's something that's so against your character, or at least the character that you've always told me that you were.
Yeah.
That either A, you've always lied to me,
Yeah.
or B, this would crush you.
I don't want to be crushed, so I'm gonna have.
You would rather
keep
just
it.
not hear.
Yeah, I'd rather not hear. Yeah, you can keep that to yourself. That's okay.
Not to me nor anyone else, please.
Because you don't want the truth.
I just rather.
I can keep the truth from
handle
you.
the truth.
Good.
No, he knows he can't. He would yell out, "I can't handle the truth."
Me, personally. The truth of myself. And the monster I've become.
yourself.
Chris is such a trooper that the next night we went to the Sirius party.
We killed it too, didn't
I
we,
was
Jeff?
concerned about that.
Absolutely.
Now, is trooper another word for raging alcoholic?
Yeah, I guess so.
He is a trooper.
Now,
The food was terrible.
Now, Chris, I thought you were going to go out jumping around with Jeffrey.
Well, we were, but then my incident happened, and then Jeffrey's incident happened. But now that I see Jeffrey's headlining this Friday in Altoona.
You going Altoona with him?
Jumped Altoona, dude.
Yeah. Right, we're scoping around Altoona.
Wow, it's a lot to do around here, Jeffrey.
We're going to do an endoscope, a colonoscope. That's what we'll do in Altoona.
Now, if Altoona works out, I'm sure they can get you Pottsville and Scranton.
I'm hoping for that. I want to be big in Pennsylvania.
Sure.
You never know. I'm sure you have a lot of listeners. You have listeners all over the country, so.
I don't know.
No,
They
I'm
tell
sure you
me
do.
yes. I wonder.
I'm sure you. I'll find out when I'm there.
Oh,
We'll do a
great.
little survey. I'll be there early enough in the afternoon.
To go walking around talking to people.
Absolutely, that's my plan.
Well, Jeffrey, we're happy that you are alive.
Thank you, man.
So happy.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because I was thinking at the time, man, I can't fuck up going on Bennington, man. I got to pull through this thing.
Did you see his last column of the year, the pictures of all the amazing people that Jeffrey spends every night with? It's just phenomenal.
It had been a very fun year, That was my top 15 comedy things that happened over the year. It was a great, great year, and it just ended on a weird note, but I'm starting off on a good note. They told me that I'm okay.
Now, Jeffrey, if you would have died, God forbid.
God forbid, right.
Who do I got to talk to about me getting a chance to speak at your funeral? Because...
You know what? I'm going to put that in writing.
I would love for you to do that, because you know that I guarantee you there won't be a dry eye. And I want to see all these people.
There won't be a dry seat in the house.
Oh, that'd be great. If I'll make one person piss, I feel like I keep going
what am I
down
gonna
there.
wear, though?
You and Colin Quinn could take turns.
Well, Colin, first of all, I'm not following him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll
no,
go
you'll
on
go
before
first.
him.
He'll follow you.
Good, thank you. Because that's too much pressure.
A lot of
the
pressure.
guy right there, do you know his name, Chris?
Which guy?
The guy in the middle at the bottom, yeah.
No, I do not.
I've been watching his periscopes lately.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's kind of a Chris Stanley.
Nobody's a Chris Stanley. Chris and I have plans. We're going to go out scoping very soon, Chris.
Yeah, very soon.
Please do that.
Cannot wait for Altoona Scope.
I can't wait. Too much Altoona.
Too much Altoona, exactly.
All right, Jeffrey, we'll talk to you later, my friend. We got to go to break here. Jeffrey Gorin, alive and well in 2016. It's the Bennington Show. Oh, my God, Gail, who's coming through the door right now?
Why, it's Luis J. Gomez.
The Puerto Rican rattlesnake?
None other than the Puerto Rican rattlesnake.
Real ass dude?
Well, Lewis is performing at Comics in Mohegan Sun in Connecticut Wednesday, January 6th through Saturday, January 9th. Go to mohegansun.com for tickets and more information.
One show added. Sunday, January 10th, the Puerto Rican rattlesnake Real Ass Dude also headlines.
Whoa! Mohegan Sun, won't you come and see Louis J. Gomez? Mohegan Sun, won't you come? Won't you come?
Everyone also leaves with that creepy smile on their face after my show.
Yeah. Don't forget that Lewis also co-hosts The Countdown every Thursday, 6 p.m., Sirius XM Rush Channel 93. And you do always forget that, and I always have to remind you.
I do forget, and I'm like, I guess I'll just watch PTI tonight. And you're like, don't. Don't watch that shit.
Not.
Yeah, don't watch it. And is that all we have to plug for
Well,
Lewis?
don't forget he also does the Legion of Skanks every Tuesday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. on AnthonyCumia.com.
Yeah. So far, Big J is the only one who's turned their back on the Legion of Skanks. You stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, we all know that I'm the heart and the soul of the show.
I was going to say that you were, but then someone else said that you were the pancreas.
No. Heart and soul.
Okay.
I think they were mistaken.
Well, I definitely know you're the heart, but I was surprised to learn
Jay's
the soul as well.
Jay's like the arms and the legs. He does all the punching and the kicking.
Right.
But without that heart and soul, you're not going to really be able to do much with the arms and the legs.
What would you say Dave Smith is? Liver?
I would say he's whatever, not the anus, but whatever the ring around the anus. I don't know what that area is
ass
called.
lip. I would call it
Ass lip.
ass lip.
He's the ass lip of the show.
Mm-hmm. That's good, too.
What's he in a bad mood about tonight, too?
Dave Smith?
Yeah. What's annoyed him?
Is he he's kind of a grumpy guy, right?
Well, he's kind of, with the right wing, I think he's aged beyond his years.
Yeah.
He's younger than he seems.
It is a little weird.
Personality-wise.
It's a little weird because I think the younger people today, for the most part, in colleges, they're teaching everyone to be these, open-minded liberals, and everybody's equal. Right. Everyone's on the same page. But it's I don't know. It kind of flies in the face of kind of the concepts of how to live life when we were kids. We were fucking going against the system, and we were just assholes to each other, everybody. And I think that Dave, in a weird way, has kind of come full circle, and he's more punk rock than most young people today. Because nobody's right wing.
Yeah, punk rock is old now, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. But every old person is right wing. As you get older, you're like, I want things to be like the past. Yeah. At least that's the way I start talking. I want things to be like the past.
Oh, he is getting old.
I am.
As soon as you start having things, then you're like, oh, no, I don't want somebody to come and take my things and give them to other people.
Right. You want to keep your things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're saying Trump 2016. Now, Trump, did you see his TV commercial yet?
Oh, no.
I saw him get called out today because there was a thing of people just rushing over the border. And just put up the commercials, you watch it. And it's very much like Bill Murray and Scrooge. This commercial is a little scary. You got to have volume.
The politicians can pretend
take it from the beginning.
Else.
Okay? What I want you to start doing to do this from a producing point of view is to, set it up. All right, here we go.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
The politicians can pretend it's something else, but Donald Trump calls it radical Islamic terrorism. That's why he's calling for a temporary shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until we can figure out what's going on. He'll quickly cut the head off ISIS and take their oil. And he'll stop illegal immigration by building a wall on our southern border that Mexico will pay for.
We will make America great again.
That's not a real ad.
No, it's a real ad, and it's Trump's ad. Now, here's the problem that they brought up to him this morning. There at the end where you see just people storming the border. That's not our country. It's some kind of Moroccan thing. You can look it up, Chris.
It's people running with the bulls in Spain.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's ever that concentrated.
Well, I don't think we have those kind of sand dunes.
But that's all it takes. Somebody sees something like that, and they're going to think that's what's happening 24 hours a day at the border of Mexico. They're like, yeah, I saw it.
Better safe than sorry, though. Yeah. You know what? If you create the sort of borders that would be safe against that type of attack,
right?
I promise
that's what he's saying.
The one or two families that are trying to come through, they're not getting through.
Here's the thing that really has me leaning towards Trump, though. He's the only one who has promised me he will take the heads of ISIS. And I take that literally. He's literally going to beat them at their own game and start beheading.
Let's take their heads before they take our heads.
I would vote for a man that actually beheaded a terrorist. If Trump would go on national television and behead a terrorist with a knife, he would get my vote.
I'd vote for anybody.
Oh, sure, yes.
I'd vote for ISIS right now.
He's going to start putting the heads on spikes outside of the White House.
Look at this. I'm going to piss in his dead eye socket. Vote for me.
This is a lesson to you all.
Make America great again. Like it used to be.
It's literally like if SNL put together a spoof of a commercial. Right. That's what it would look like. And he's just unapologetic.
So, well, the thing that he's going to have to apologize is that he's not showing the Mexican border.
It's Morocco.
He's showing a Moroccan border. I think people running out of a fire.
This looks kind of like Mexico.
Now, do you worry that Mexico first, Puerto Rico second?
That they're going to lock us out? No, we're the 51st state, baby.
You're not a state.
I know it's a commonwealth, whatever that means.
That means you can't vote.
It's the same shit. Potato, patata. It's a state.
No, it's potato and potato are the same things. There's no such thing as a potato.
That's how I say it.
Is there a potato with that? A waiter will say no.
Well, you've never had my grandma's sweet, delicious potato salad that she makes.
See, here's the thing. When she bum rushed this country with her wrong language.
That should be part of the literacy test for the Mexicans. How do you say potato? If they say potato, they're out.
They're out.
Forget it.
Now, Puerto Ricans do, and to me I think it's impressive, is diving for quarters off the back of cruise ships. I mean, they go down deep to get them. But you're not worried being an actual minority. You don't worry under Trump's reign. You feel like you won't be run out of the country.
No, I mean, here's the thing. Like, we're already on this side of it.
Right.
You know, we're not like, I mean, the other ones, you know, if you're from the Dominican Republic or if you're from, you know, I can't name another Hispanic country. That's how uncultured I am. I'm Iraqi. I'm thinking, fucking, Bosnia, I can't even name another country now. Wow. Bahrain.
But you don't even feel close with them yourself. No. You never cheer for Dominican ball players.
No, not at all.
Yeah. You hate them.
I was raised by white people. I was raised by white people to act right.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow. Sounds so racist.
Yes.
Not when it comes from a Latino, though. Here's the problem. I can't be racist. I get into an argument, and I put a Twitter poll up. If Puerto Ricans are allowed to say the N-word, I think that we should be allowed to say the N-word.
Well, you do say it. I hear more Puerto Ricans say it.
Nobody's stopping you.
Yeah.
We're too afraid to stop you.
Yeah.
Well, no, black people are not okay with it. Apparently, it was very close. It was like 49% of people said it's not okay for Puerto Ricans to say the N-word.
Well, I certainly giggle every time I hear it. So, you know what I mean? I wouldn't put it out. But I do hear, well, you know, your friend Bronx Johnny, he's more of a Central American, right?
Yeah, he's Ecuadorian.
That's fucking ridiculous. And he drops the M-bomb constantly.
Non-stop. Air the words, the M-bomb.
Yeah, but they are much closer to N-words than Puerto Ricans.
Okay.
In what way?
You know, they're...
In what way? Help me out here. Look,
thanks for Ron for pulling that thread as I tried to tread lightly on that.
I'm not on tax, so I don't know how all this works. You know, I know.
They're edgy.
I know I went to the Thanksgiving show and I couldn't stop Gavin from saying it constantly. I'm like, this is supposed to be Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Gavin McInnes cannot say the N-word. He's not allowed.
And yet,
yeah.
I think there's a real debate if Hispanic people should be allowed to say the N-word, because Puerto Ricans, if you know this, they have African blood.
Of course I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We keep it in a vial around our neck.
Well, that's because it's very true. When I guess it was one of the slave drop-off places, right?
I didn't know that much. I didn't research as much, but I heard that we have African blood.
Well, if you're going to go back far enough, they say that we all had African blood.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, at one point, the only humans living on the planet would have been considered black. Now,
that's racist.
Why as you go further north, you lighten to the point.
And when you go east, it gets even crazier.
What do you mean crazier?
Like a whole nother color.
Crazy.
It's like, did I eat something?
It is crazy town. Everyone looks so crazy here.
By the way, this is all going to be going on at Lewis's gig.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's at Comics at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Wednesday, January 6th through Sunday, January 10th. Go to MoheganSun.com for tickets and more information.
And who are you going to be working there with?
Wednesday and Sunday, I'm going to be headlining 8 o'clock shows. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm going to be featuring for the Pitbull of comedy, Bobby Slayton.
Yeah. Now, Bobby Slayton is a white man who doesn't mind saying the N-word.
No.
At least in white company.
Right.
Yeah.
That's brave.
It's just a word. It's just a word. I think you load the words when you tell people they're not allowed to say them. Then it makes you want to say them. Don't you kind of want to say it, Ron, at all times?
Well, I grew up with the words, so it's not a big deal for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was a long time before I knew that it wasn't a word that you would say.
That was the learned
We
behavior.
literally said it during Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. I'm not making that up. So, and I grew up in one of those things where there was literally a train track where it was a black neighborhood and a white neighborhood. And, so, it was a very common thing. But back then, everybody would call each other whatever ethnic thing. We made a much bigger deal about ethnic things than people do now. But, I understand with kids today, I get that we raised them to be politically correct for a long time, since they were in kindergarten,
Yeah, I know we do, but isn't it almost like, don't we have a natural instinct when you're told to not do something, especially kids, to kind of rebel?
Right.
Isn't that like naturally in you? So I almost feel like because we're shoving it down their throats so much, they're just going on message boards on YouTube and on Reddit and saying whatever the fuck's on their mind anyway, and then their mind's in overdrive, so they go crazy because they need that type of release.
Well,
I would rather my friend just call me a spick while we play basketball and be like, all right, you're done. You don't have to obsess over this anymore.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think people do not view the internet as being real. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think they see themselves as making things up when they're on the internet, and then this being real life.
Yeah.
I think that they can say racist or sexist things, and if they were called on it, they would just be like, hey, I thought we were all just fucking around here.
But it's interesting. Nobody takes their second life self and is like, I'm going to make that person a better person.
No one has ever done that. That's a
They're
really
just
good
like,
point.
oh, this imaginary me is really a piece of shit. Not a big fan of women.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of women.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. Real life me is I say racist and sexist shit. But on the internet, it's so funny because comics, we literally can't go on the internet and say racist and sexist shit anymore because now there's a time.
You're the only one who'll be called on it.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. So in real life, we all behind closed doors say stupid shit. And to be funny, there's no hate involved with what we're saying, but it is a lot of racist and sexist jokes being
Well, I think Soder says it with hate. I don't know if everyone does. Everyone else is fine.
Just playing.
Can't stop himself.
You know what? He lost his coach, right? The Niners are looking for a new coach?
Yeah, they fired Tom Alusa.
Yeah.
They said they're looking for Chip Kelly is the leader right now. They're actively going for Chip Kelly.
They won't get any. There won't be anybody happier than Chip than me. I hope they go all the way with him.
Me too.
And then the Giants are looking for, I think, Adam Gase from the Bears.
I hear they're waiting to see what happens with if Alabama wins and then Peyton says he's done with college, that they're going to turn everything over to him.
To Saban?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I fucking hate Nick Saban.
Well, you hated your fucking coach for the last 12 years. No one ever has a coach that they like. I'm very happy with our coach.
He's doing great.
Apparently, Pittsburgh is the only place that feels like the same about their coach, whether they win or lose.
They love Tomlin.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what he can do. Like, even when remember in the middle of the season that he went for it on like fucking.
Doesn't even make sense.
he could just go for the tie.
I have been talking to Tomlin because I'm planning a Don Cheadle biopic, and I want him to come in and play the part for me.
He takes it.
I want him playing the part of a guy working to play the part of Miles Davis, where I'll eventually get from that. That's meta. But you feel the need to say racist things. You feel like you want to because society stops you from doing
I think people in general have a natural inclination to rebel. Especially young people. So I think that it's kind of like bottling it up weirdly. I just say, cause I don't give a shit. I think I grew up on like Dice and like just dirty comedy. I was watching really dirty. I mean, Def Jam. You know how racist Def Jam was for a little Puerto Rican kid watching it from an outside perspective. That's one of the most racist shows on earth, and I thought it was hilarious. It didn't really register as reverse racism, or black people had it harder, so they're allowed to say these things. I was just a kid watching these things, and I always gravitated toward the dirtier, edgier, more racial based or sexual based stuff. And we have this thing now where we can't. There's an actual movement against it in comedy, and specifically in comedy where you have to watch what you say and watch what you do at all times. And,
Are you saying comedians themselves putting this out there?
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young comedians, but then there's just also the blog movement and the online movement. You really feel like you have to walk on eggshells now as a comedian, and it just makes it really not as much fun. And that's why I think podcasting has kind of exploded.
Did you say eggshells?
I did say eggshells.
Good, because I was going to shut you down for that. All right. We got Luis J. Gomez in here. He wants to use racial talk. Also, since we don't let you touch children or rape women, that's another urge that he has.
I'm fighting it every moment. I know I'm against that, but I understand that.
Yeah. Good. That's good. Chris, what about you? You grew up in the city.
Yeah, but then I grew up like my dad was quite racist against the blacks and the Jews. And the
usual suspects, basically.
Especially Jews. He did not like.
My mom too. Really didn't like the Jews.
Because a Jewish guy fired him once because I'm sure he didn't do anything wrong. So then all Jews are terrible.
Well, what kind of work was it? I know your dad had a B&E job. I know. Was he a lookout? Where he made most of his money.
He got kicked out of the union. It was terrible. Bricklayer. He was a bricklayer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, let's go to a young Puerto Rican that grew up in an all-white neighborhood of, were you St. Pauli girl?
Yeah, I was a St. Pauli girl, Minnesota.
Now, did the white kids there it's got to be 97% white, Minnesota, right?
Yeah, 9 out of 10 people in Minnesota
are white. And they're like really white. I mean, they're whiter than us.
Oh, freakish.
You know what I mean? Like, guy would probably be considered ethnic there.
Yeah.
Now, did they taunt you at all about your Hispanic roots?
Yes, they did.
What would they say to you?
They would say, they'd be like, "Oh, you're Puerto Rican. Oh, no way, you're not Puerto Rican."
No one believes.
Yeah, we say that.
No one believed me.
What's up with your Jew face, Puerto Rican?
Yeah, well, that's the only difference between here and there. There's no Jewish people where I grew up, so no one thought I was Jewish. They just thought I had a big nose.
What is it?
Yeah, we don't know. Now, Vito was surprised because he was on Periscope and he was going to Star Wars with his two black buddies and couldn't understand why people around the country were weirded out by that.
Yeah, people were really shocked that I was hanging out with black people. A lot of racial comments about my friends. I saw a bunch of people just wait, Vito's friend is a black?
Yeah.
Asking him if he was out on warrants.
You don't get out on warrants.
Did that hurt your feelings?
That's just ignorant.
No, it didn't hurt my feelings too much, but my friend, after I turned it off, was like, I was really excited. and then I kept reading the screen and I was like, fuck these people.
Welcome to show business, kid. So he was excited to go on Periscope, and then he saw.
And then racism struck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scope Brothers. That's a different hashtag.
Yeah. Scope Bros are inclusive. Scope Bros are inclusive.
Is it inclusive?
Oh, very much so, yes.
Women
Good.
too?
Yeah, definitely.
Then
We're
when
not
you say,
misogynist.
hey, Scope sister.
Scope Bros is an umbrella term.
Well, Gail, you've come up with a point. A woman is lower than any ethnic group.
Yes. I think Yoko
down to the
Ono
point
made that
this-
point.
Yes, she did.
She said it very eloquently. I won't quote her directly, but
but see, here's the thing. Now, women, there's 51%. So you are the minority, majority.
yes.
And it's the fact that you can't.
Really, when you think of it, women might be the ultimate minority.
Well, it's only because they don't organize themselves. You know what I mean? That's the problem with women. They're like, but maybe we got to think of another way. And that's when white guys go, okay, we're going to win this.
Well, that's,
No one organizes better than white men. We
Yes,
organize
that's true.
the best.
That's not true. Asian women.
but so,
I'm not talking about doing nails. I'm talking about going to the fucking moon, my friend. From the bottom of the ocean to the fucking space.
but so often, slaves outnumber the masters always, but it's a psychological oppression. So it doesn't really matter numbers. It's like you have to
You got to
realize,
shake it off, though. That's what I'm trying
exactly.
to
You
tell
have to say, wait a second, hold on.
That's what the Taylor Swift song is about.
If you take a bunch of white guys and you say to them, you are being enslaved, they'll go like this. Well, for a little while we will be, but not really. We're coming up with a plan. They will not stand for it. A white guy is always surprised when someone is the leader other than a white guy.
Am I the only one who kind of feels bad for white guys?
Yes.
No, because women feel bad for white guys and blacks feel bad for white guys. They're like, oh, you guys do so much.
Yeah, it's like you're
You
so
know,
busy.
thank God you've got the
Well, I feel
1%.
like white guys are the only ones that right now are just inherently evil. Like, you guys can do no right.
But guess what? We don't give a fuck. That's the difference. We don't sit around and worry about it all.
Yeah.
We're going to come up with an app. We're going to start a company. We're going to.
You like cabs, right?
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. You do comedy. There's a lot of Puerto Rican and black comics, and yet most of the owners of the big clubs, white people.
Very true.
And matter of fact, if I'm doing a black club, it's almost like you're saying I'm doing a less than.
Yeah. You might not even get paid.
Yeah.
You might not get out of there alive.
So that's why we don't feel bad for
Oh,
ourselves.
yeah, we got this. Also, Louis J. Gomez is performing at Comics in Mohegan Sun.
Why are you yelling at us? We're just fucking guys sitting around talking.
Can you specify a white-owned comedy club?
Louis is performing at white-owned
Indian.
Mohegan.
Well, no, the Indians own
Indian-owned,
Mohegan Sun.
white-managed Comics at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, Wednesday, January 6th through Sunday, January 10th. Go to MoheganSun.com for tickets and more information. And Louis co-hosts The Countdown every Thursday at 6 p.m. East on SiriusXM Rush, Channel 93.
Yeah. They don't like being called Indians either. They like being called natives.
Really?
I think so. I don't talk to them. I don't make eye contact. But I've heard that.
Well, I very rarely ever see them at the casinos.
Yeah.
You know, they just kind of get a check for it.
Yeah. They just fucking hang. They just hang
Are
out.
they managing though?
No.
Or is they like watching from above?
No. That's Jewish guys.
I really do never see Native Americans like in life. Are they?
We got to be out west.
Yeah, we're in the east. We're in the northeast.
Yeah,
We're
I
not
mean, where
common
we
here.
are now, we killed them.
Yeah.
And took their land.
we ate all of their maize and they froze to death during the winter.
Why, do you think they were keeping warm with corn?
I don't know.
The husks.
Yeah.
Husks.
Oh, I see. Husk, yeah.
Husk shoes and stuff.
So this is the kind of stuff that you'll hear Louis talk about on his. What are you doing? You're doing 8-9 periscopes a day, right?
I do a bunch. Well, Lewiscope Network. It's more than just a Periscope show. I mean, it's multiple shows. The Baby James Talk Show, which is my son's talk show.
Everybody loves that best of all.
The Daily Deuce.
Everyone really
Big
hates
fan.
that worst of all.
Yeah.
Off-putting.
I'm not allowed to watch it, but it's great.
You sit on the toilet, and while you shit, you explain.
I just talk about life, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the poop coming out. I got the thoughts coming out. It's very avant-garde.
Is there a moment of the day that you feel like you can be by yourself, alone, not viewed by people?
No, I really do. It's so weird because it's a combination of like an ADD killer and also like my need to be told that I'm great. So it's like I'm killing time and getting hearts and views at the exact same time.
Well, hearts are great.
Would you be willing to do a sleep scope? Just set the scope up.
Holy shit.
Dude, I swear to God, I'm doing Sleep Scope tonight. It's happening tonight. Brand new show on the Lewis Scope Network, co-produced by Gail Bennington,
yes,
in association with Scope Bros and the Bennington Show. Sleep Scope tonight. Where will Louis J. Gomez be sleeping? Who knows? I'm homeless, but you guys can tune in.
Wow, this will be exciting.
This is so exciting, and I'm so glad I got that credit.
Yeah,
that is a nice credit for you.
My other show is Sports Talk, Sports Talk, where I don't know sports, but my dog's name is Sport, so I walk with him and I talk to him. We don't talk about sports. It's a little misleading, the title.
Yeah.
People expect to get sports.
I'm starting to see this as a mental illness. Here's Scott in Tennessee. Scott in Tennessee, how are you? Whoops, let me try you again. This is not taking Chris to that. I'll go over to Lewis in Manhattan.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, man.
You can hear me?
Yeah, you're perfect. It's Scott that I have the problems with right now.
All right, I have to disagree with your guest as far as it comes with Puerto Ricans.
We all do.
Puerto Ricans and black people. I grew up in Spanish Harlem. We say it around each other all the time. I think it's more of a matter of where you're from, and you know, if you're allowed to say it, and not so much what your race is.
What about North Rockland County, New York?
Those guys, I don't think they would be allowed to say it.
They like to say Negro.
But what I'm saying is, it depends on where you come from and not so much your race.
Well, that was something new when I moved to New York that was shocking to me. It's like going to school and seeing Hispanic kids be able to say it in front of black kids, and I was like, oh, you guys are cool with that? Okay, cool. I just figured that out. Did not know that before.
Still not a place for white kids to say it, though,
Good
right?
to know. I will take
white
note.
kids too. I mean, there was a white kid that lived in my neighborhood, and he was allowed to say it.
He was beaten to death by black people, but...
That would actually be a great book of white people that are allowed to use the N-word.
Eminem?
Eminem, but do you ever hear him do it?
He has, in a couple songs he has.
Has he?
Yeah.
From early on, but then he came out and apologized for it.
He did one recently in another song, but he referenced it. I think you can kind of, like, it's another level where you're not saying it, you're referencing yourself or somebody else saying it.
So, like, if he's quoting, like, Huckleberry Finn in his rap, then he can say it.
Yes, exactly.
I don't even know if you're allowed to quote Huckleberry Finn. Some people really act like, isn't it a shame what they've done with Huckleberry Finn? I don't know. You know, I mean, it's only little kids read it. No adults ever sit around. I'd feel like a kid toucher if I was sitting in my house reading Huckleberry Finn.
What's going on with those boys?
Yeah.
What are they getting into this time?
All right, I'm going to go to you. Give me a white person who you think could drop the N-bomb and get away with it.
Okay. Don't judge me. Carrot Top.
No, I am going to judge you because I just don't see any truth to that.
No, I don't.
I feel like he's so outrageous he could get away with it. If you're saying people who could get away with it, I think.
I think he could have a driving sink that somehow people would buy into it, but I don't think he could or would.
I think that Gallagher can as he smashes a watermelon.
Gallagher, I could picture doing it.
That's what he should do.
N-words.
All right, Gail, it seems like you got somebody.
I feel like, could be wrong, but Quentin does in his films as his characters. Do you think that he could?
It goes out of his way not to change with this at all.
No.
I mean, let's face it, it's a lot of years now that it's come up about Quentin Tarantino. And in this last movie, it's constant N-bombs.
Nonstop.
Maybe the most ever. And there's no even slaves in this.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
There's not even black people.
Yeah.
One black guy.
Just one. And he says it may be the least.
And yet, it's just being chucked at him.
Like he actually has to answer to it
But I'll
through
tell
most
you,
of the film.
I'll tell you who did it before Quentin. Mel Brooks. Go back and watch how much Mel Brooks
Yeah, you're right.
put it in his movies. And you're like, Mel? Is there a reason for this?
It's great. It's hysterical.
And it was really done. Just Isn't this funny? Isn't this good? Vito, you look like you have somebody you want to go to.
Justin Timberlake.
Does he ever say it, though?
No, but I totally think he could get away with it. I know.
I don't think so.
My two black friends I went to the movie with, they said he could say it.
Well, I know black people that love Justin Timberlake, that they just feel like he gets it.
What is it, though, that he gets?
Soul. He has a soul. Yeah. He's this generation's Daryl Hall.
That's weird.
Where they buy into it.
You know what we should do? Because there's no black people in the building even. Maybe if there's black callers listening, we can have a black caller tell us who they think a white person is that could say. Because I'm actually really intrigued at this right now.
Well, thank you very much. And I've got one myself, but we'll open it up to everybody. 844-ROCK-GOD, 844-ROCK-GOD. Or you could do hashtag Bennington. But I've got one that I feel like everybody would be cool with, and that's Michael Rappaport.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that they'd be very, very accepting and letting it go.
In fact, if he said it in my presence, I would feel like, oh, it's okay. You know what I mean?
I want him to say it now. I'm thinking about
I feel like I have heard him say it when he did our show, but I'm not sure. But he was one of those, I grew up, he's like one of those guys that's like, I'm white, but I'm basically black.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was also in that movie where he was racist in the movie, and he said it a bunch in the movie. So I almost feel like if you have tape of a white guy saying it, acting in a role where he's saying it, at that point the damage is already done, and he got paid to do it. So at this point, he kind of has a pass.
You've heard me say it before.
Yeah.
Let's do this from a stand-up point of view. Ralphie May.
Ralphie May. Is he allowed to say it?
Yeah. Because I've heard him, right?
Yeah.
Or am I crazy when I say that?
Does he say it?
Yeah. Because he says he's from the ghetto or something like that.
Pass.
He gets.
I think anybody should be able to. I really believe anybody should be able to, especially in the context of joking. Anybody gets a pass, even if it's not funny, even if you're not a good comedian, you get a pass.
I think, I mean, it's not so funny if you're just joking with it. I think it's much better if you're doing it to hurt feelings.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's used best. All right, John in Mississippi.
I'm going to have to say Bill Clinton.
Now, Bill.
I did not think he could get away with it.
Yes, he could.
Only if he liked to said, I like to bang them.
Right.
Because I believe he does.
Oh, God, yeah.
Here's Mike in Pensacola. Mike.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Tosh Point.
Has he, though? Daniel Tosh?
Tosh could get away with it.
I don't think so.
My old Tosh.
Freak out.
Yeah. By the way, do you agree on the Bill Clinton?
No, there's no way he's going to fucking drop an F-bomb.
No way.
What about George W. Bush? Could he say it?
Yeah, because he's from an older generation.
I know that he does, but I don't think that he could get away with it. You know he does.
I bet it just comes off his tongue like butter.
Oh, it's so free. He's so
Thing
free.
that he's ever said. Now, by the way, here's a special case. I believe it should be able to be used is while driving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're really at your
with the windows rolled up.
Exactly.
Because then you don't really know what they're saying, but you can assume.
Because if you say it in your car, you might as well have said it in your head. It's just
okay. So the
part
car
of you.
is just a head,
Your mind.
with bigger.
Does this also work with the raping and murdering theory from before? If it's in your car, it's in your head.
Of course.
Sure.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Of course.
Big Rick in Sacramento.
I was going to say Ron White, but I'm going to go with
Ron White.
Ron White, if he told it in the context of a story.
Right. A quote, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I was going to say Paul Wall, the rapper.
No, who are we talking about?
Paul Wall, the rapper?
Paul Wall, the rapper.
He's a southern white rapper.
Yeah.
Right, that makes a little bit of sense, I guess.
I don't think get money hit Jeff Foxworthy when you say it personally.
Oh, sure. Foxworthy probably says it only when he's mad at his maid.
Oh, my God.
Well, what about guys who have gotten away with it? Dog the Bounty Hunter, he got a show again. It didn't ruin his career.
Didn't ruin his career, but nobody was comfortable with him saying it.
I mean, he looks like the last person that should be allowed to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his name was on the list.
Because he definitely means it when he says it.
Yeah, when
he wasn't doing it for joking reasons.
You know, he had a lot of intent when he said it. So
Of course he did. Yeah.
But it really did not ruin his career at all. Like, Hulk Hogan can come back. Hulk Hogan could be on an ABC show in a couple years.
Between that and fucking the other guy's wife on camera, I mean, he's not exactly family entertainment anymore.
I think he was saying it while he was doing the other guy's wife. When he was saying it.
Yeah, it's probably,
Yeah, he's not coming back from it.
But Dog the Bounty Hunter, in the context that he used it, I mean, he had to go back where he says, "Don't worry, I'll catch those."
Yeah.
And, in that context.
Makes sense now.
Yeah. Paul in Syracuse. Paul.
Hey, how you doing, Ronnie B? $1 million.
Hey, $1 million.
Sweet 16. Hey, how about Michael Richards?
He ruined it for everybody, really.
Yeah.
If you're going to be honest about it.
He opened Pandora's box.
Yeah. He really did. John.
He's the one who ruined it for people who tried to be funny with it.
Absolutely.
Because then nobody wants to take the chance anymore.
Yeah. It could go not well.
Yeah.
Particularly, you don't want to use it against a heckler. I think he proved.
And that wasn't really a thing where you could say, "Oh, it's taken out of context." It was like, no, I was really trying to hurt their feelings. That's really what I was doing.
Everybody hated those hecklers, but by the time that he said that, the fucking club starts to empty. Like, holy shit, honey, let's go.
This is turning.
This is not going
Mail
well.
me the bill, because I'm not staying in here. Here is Rick. Rick.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. in the probably point of explaining why or what,
Yes, he would put it in a way.
Yeah.
That I feel like he would be saying.
Where everybody would go, oh.
Right.
You get a pass, Louis. We learned something.
I don't think that you would ever say you get a pass. I don't think.
Pass!
I think,
pass, Louis!
Louis, you passed the N-word test.
I think when you say get a pass, it doesn't sound worse than that moment. Because it's like, like Louis was saying that, and he can say it because he's a Puerto Rican. He wants to say it all the time.
Yeah.
He loves it.
It's always going in my head. That's if you heard like the word, it's just over and over again, nonstop.
Good.
God, yeah, that's bad. Well, I hope you're not going to say it in your sleep tonight during this
Oh my
weird
God! Can that be
Andy
used
Warhol
against him?
Periscope you're going to be doing.
I can't wait.
No.
Or at Comics in Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, Wednesday, January 6th through Saturday, January 10th. Go to MoheganSun.com for tickets and more information.
What's the racial term for American Indians?
Well, ask the people of Washington, D.C., because they have everybody mad at them. This is their football team's name.
The Redskins.
The Redskins.
Got it.
And also, if you go back to cowboy movies, Injun was pretty.
That was just a pronunciation problem.
Yeah, but the
and
way
a
they said it.
misidentification.
Yeah, like, we don't let Injuns drink in here. And I remember even being a kid watching those cowboy movies and goes, who turns down a customer? I mean, really, you don't know.
It's a new customer.
Yeah. A guy that is going to drink until he's fucking wasted. This dude will be there every day.
It's the worst business plan ever.
Dan, Connecticut.
Yeah, Ron. Elvis Costello got away with it in a song.
Yeah, but then remember he said it in real life and really kept him from being a giant star.
Yeah.
That happened in like 78, where somebody from Stephen Still's band came back and said that Elvis Costello had called Ray Charles an ignorant, and then he never really got off. He never really got away.
Ignorant blind, also. He didn't throw that in there.
Yes, he put him blind. And now,
Kick him in while he's down.
he also recently said the same thing about Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby now acts like he was blind.
He's saying, no, say it.
And he thought he was putting those pills in his pocket.
Marilyn Manson said it in a few songs.
I think you can say it in a song almost, sometimes you can say it in a song the way you say it in a film as though this is a character that you're playing, like Patti Smith did it. There's a few, rock songs where they use it in a certain context.
Why can't you use it in the context of a joke, though? Why is it that when a joke, which is, I mean, the whole point of it is just to make people laugh and to kind of turn the truth on its side.
Does it make people laugh?
Yeah, usually if it's done right. I mean, Joe Rogan has a great N-word joke. Louis C.K. has one as well, I believe. I mean,
so you're saying it can be done? You're saying it can't be done by people who aren't funny enough to pull it off?
I'm saying that if you're not funny enough to pull it off, you should still be able to give it a try. Who the fuck am I to tell people? No, but it's true.
But that's true of anything. That
any taboo
if you
topic.
can't pull it off, you can't pull it off.
I don't want, I mean, Patrice said it best out of everybody, and there's like a lot of, footage of him talking kind of about this concept, but it all comes from the same place. I mean, Louis C.K. was just an open mic comic at one point, sitting in some club who wasn't good at comedy.
Who had to work his way up.
Yeah. So if in the process he did an N-word joke in there, I don't really care. I'm not holding it against him because he was trying to figure out.
Mic?
Yeah, I mean,
he probably wouldn't have went well.
Here's the deal: you have to have the skills to pull it off.
Yeah, well, you can fall on your face and not get booked or not laugh. The truth is, we live in a PC culture. There's people that won't book you. The audience might not laugh. So that's the risk that you take.
Always was a PC culture. If you talk about Richard fucking Pryor or Lenny Bruce or George Carlin, those guys have been arrested for that. Yet you come from a generation of guys who want it given to you, right?
Yeah.
These guys went out and did the fucking material, and you never heard them cry, "What's wrong with the audience? They don't get me." They would be fucking taking them away in cuffs and be like, okay. But you guys fucking want people to give you shit rather than earn it. You have to earn those fucking laughs.
I agree with you, but I think you right now as a young comic, if you're in a club trying to get laughs off of things like if you're using the N-word or the new F-word, the truth is if you fail and don't get the laughs, that is, in today's culture, that is you kind of being arrested in your own right. Like, you're not gonna, like, I get it that it's a different thing back then, but right now, the risk that you run is just not getting laughs and
You're
not
the
getting
same
booked.
fucking guys that bitch about everybody get a trophy. Pull it off and be the funniest fucking guy there, and you never have to worry about being booked. Be fucking great, and no one will ever stop you.
100% agree with you. And by the way, I don't do jokes with the N-word. I just don't do it because in reality,
you couldn't pull it off.
I couldn't pull it off.
Yeah.
You're 100% right about that.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do it. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and tell a younger comic or somebody that's going to try to go and find some funny not to take the risk.
Yes, it's a risk. Take it. And when it doesn't work out, pay the consequences, you fucking pussies. You know what I mean? But the thing is...
But the consequences now are just not getting the laughs,
But it's always been... Have you watched the Lenny Bruce movie?
I didn't, no.
He fucking was told you can't come back to the... You'll never work in the Catskills again because he did this fucking jerk-off thing.
We are also kind of moving toward that in a weird way now with social media because if you get on SNL, they vet you for the past few years to see what you've said and what dumb jokes you might have made as a young comic just coming up. And it's not even just using the N-word. They really look for the angle on anything that you say.
Most of us can't be on Saturday Night Live. So what? Now, if you would let me finish, in the Lenny Bruce movie, he goes, "You're never going to work this hotel again." And Lenny Bruce in the rain, he goes like this, "Oh no, not that." Because that's the fucking truth. If it's so important to you, then you got to go make your own fucking clubs. You cannot expect a club owner to be there and support you if you can't get the fucking laughs that you're supposed to get. It's up to each person. But I get really fucking tired of young guys acting like, "Hey man, people don't get my fucking laughs." Well, your fucking point of your life is you're supposed to get your own audience. I'm not going to get it for you, bitch.
I do agree with you, but it's like, I think we're also training the audiences to not laugh at stuff like that. I mean, just in the past few years, I used to use the F word in my act. It wasn't a problem to use that word. It wasn't in a hateful way. It was just the same way you would call somebody a pussy, you would call them the F word, And the audiences, they stopped laughing at it. I mean, literally in the past 5 or 6 years, you could look at a tape of them laughing at that word, and then we're just kind of moving into an area where...
Go to Eddie Murphy in 1983. People were laughing.
They don't laugh anymore at it.
But
But even 5 years ago, I would say that special held up, and I don't think it holds up anymore, and that's very recent.
But cultures change.
Yeah.
Blackface was accepted. And now you can't, by the time you got to 1958, if you came out in blackface, and you'd be like, look, I've been doing this act for 20 fucking years. It's the murder for me. What happened?
That's my opener this weekend at Comics at Mohegan Sun.
Yeah. Let's go over here to Brian. Brian, go ahead, buddy.
Indians blanket ass.
My blanket ass. Good. All right.
Blanket hands? Yeah. What?
Jim, Pennsylvania.
At the Bennington family Thanksgiving, open micer Phil won the contest with an N-word joke.
And we fell on the ground. We fell on the ground. I
forgot about that.
That guy was amazing.
Just Phil.
Dude, you were really funny that night, too,
Thanks.
man.
That was so much fun.
Everybody
so
was
much
fucking
fun.
crazy about you. By the way, they exploded when you walked out.
I know.
In that room.
They, I've like I said this before, I make very, very bad first impressions, but 5 or 6 times in, they fall in love with me.
Slow burn.
The way that went, you should have came out riding a horse and just fucking waving at everybody. That was a really fun night. Here is Sean in Maryland. Sean.
Yeah, hey, Tommy, I just want to put this out there. It kind of goes along the lines of what Lewis said, and Patrice kind of put it brought to the forefront. What if, like, a comedian says it, but it's not aimed at a black person in general? What if he's like, my friend, this white guy? What if, this nigga was doing that or whatever? Is that acceptable, or you just can't say it at all?
It's acceptable if it's accepted. Like, if it's you and your body, you can get away with it. I'm sure if it's that important to you.
It makes the story.
When you two are together.
Sure.
That you say this to each other.
If for some reason that's your term of endearment.
Yeah. But let's face it. Farts are not acceptable everywhere, but with you and your buddy, it's probably okay.
Well, that's very interesting because people forget that exact thing. They act like it's the only thing that's taboo, and that's what drives them crazy. Like, you don't talk about your sex life in front of your fucking grandmother.
Yeah.
You're able to go on with your life from there. There's just certain things that,
But it's like I said, I think this is kind of it's just in the world of comedy that I'm talking about. I don't think that Joe Schmo who works at a fucking bakery should be able to just go and say it.
Because you're such enlightened poets, you should be able to do
But no, even in the context, it's not his job to go be funny in a bakery. So if he's saying it and trying to make jokes in front of other people at a bakery, you're like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? But comedians, I think it's our job to find funny shit. And
but guess what? Sometimes the audience disagrees with you. Sometimes there are crowds that are not yours. You can walk. I mean, if you walked in front of a Christian audience, right, you would accept that they would either not accept your material or you would change your material, right?
Yeah.
So that's a thing that you act like the audience is just of one thought, one mind. It's your job as a comedian to find that audience and decide, do I want to make them laugh or do I want to make them think? It's a responsibility of yours. It's not the responsibility of the audience to ever make it easier on you.
And
I agree.
I think also I think it was Sarah Silverman recently had a thing where she had said, if we're moving out of a PC, or if we're moving into a more PC thing and that's what audiences want, then as an entertainer, it's kind of your job to follow that trend. And that's coming from somebody who says tons of taboo
things. She just pissed everybody off over Christmas or the Jewish holidays when she did the ass to mouth, was it menorah or something like that on Conan show?
Right.
You know what I mean? That was on a show that all kinds of different people could have seen. Here's Dave. Dave in Texas. Dave.
Yeah, Lisa Lampanelli would get away with it. She gets away with all kinds of stuff like that.
No longer does she do that, though. I'm pretty sure from the last time I talked to her.
Since she lost all the weight.
Yeah, it made it a lot less easier for her. Dick in Connecticut.
Yeah, I think Randy Newman could get away with it. Nobody takes him seriously anyway, do they?
Well, he's never had a big crossover mass appeal, career. I mean, yes, he can sit in front of his fans and do it. I don't think he could probably do that song Rednecks on The Tonight Show. But if you listen to it, it's exactly the type of material that Lewis is saying is acceptable because you're making fun of the ignorant person saying it, not using it in the way that a racist would use it.
Right. Look, if it comes from a place of hate, you can't even if you're trying to be funny, if the punchline of the joke is that you're saying black people are less than white people, that's really fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know, to tell comedians to, you know, filter what words they use.
Well, I'm in ISIS, and we always have a thing where you said blacks explode just as easy as whites.
That's beautiful.
And then we all laugh. But in that context, we laugh. But if I do that outside of an ISIS meeting, you wouldn't believe how it doesn't go over.
Wow.
You know? Or I'll be like, I'm in ISIS, and by the way, the doors are locked. None of you guys are getting out alive. And I mean, it's like looking at an oil painting. I mean, nobody's getting it. No one laughs.
Well, the problem is that somebody's going to find every word of what you said offensive when you're not among your ISIS friends.
That's true. Well, you know, it's a PC word. I just hate the fact that the whole PC thing has gotten really taken over by the dumbest, least funniest people.
Yeah.
That I'll see people on Periscope. I've had it with the PC thing. I'm like, you're the dope. You're the fucking dope here. You're not the fucking funny person.
Right.
I just really want to call women slits, and I don't understand why I can't get away with it. And what's happening?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, the market does determine, and you were saying that before. It's like people won't laugh at things they don't find funny. So it's like you have to make a decision. Are you gonna come to the audience, or are you going to have the audience come to you? And the comics that I've always really appreciated, Dave Attell, Patrice O'Neill, you know, Bill Burr. I mean, these guys...
They're highly skilled people.
Yeah, they're highly skilled people, but I mean, we're all, as a comic, I look up to these guys. I'm trying to become that. I'm not trying to...
You'll never get there. There's not... Seriously, even if reincarnation is real, you don't have a fucking shot. Maybe in 2 or 3 lives you'll be Dave Smith.
But the comics that I respect and appreciate, they never really, like, I watch Dave Attell at the Comedy Cellar, even if he's having a terrible set, he just does what he's gonna do. He never panders, he never shifts. So I don't know, that's just what I've always appreciated as a comic. But
then he, like you said, he takes the fucking slings and arrows if it doesn't work out. He thinks to himself, my art is more important, and I'm gonna get to a position where I will enlighten people with this. I mean, if I always say this, I find it remarkable that the funniest people I can disagree with and laugh my ass off. And fucking Patrice was one of those people where I'd say, there is no truth to what you are laying out in this thing of men and women, right? And you're talking to the dumbest people who won't be able to fucking follow it the way you can. And yet I would laugh my ass off.
Well, he's the perfect example. I remember my son was born and in the hospital. I was watching, it might have been Elephant in the Room, but the day after my son was born, on my son's mother's lap, the computer, we're watching Elephant in the Room, and he says these ridiculous things about women. And I literally just watch my son's mother deliver a life into the world. And I'm like, holy shit, she's way better than anything that I can ever do. Right. I will never accomplish anything like that ever. It was one of the most amazing experiences to watch in my life. But at the same time, you don't have to agree with somebody to laugh at these brilliant points. In fact, you're right. I'd say 95% of what Patrice O'Neill said, I disagreed with as a concept, but he understood the language of funny in another way. And it made you think. I think that's really important to take a stance that nobody else has. And no, comics aren't doing this now. Everyone just takes the popular opinion. Everyone just figures out a way to deliver a funny joke with the popular opinion. And that's not really what gets me excited about comedy.
And yet I think that was always true of 95% of comedians. I mean, the comedians that we're talking about, when you start talking about Pryor or Carlin or whatever, they've always been in the minority. You know, there were more people that were trying to do what, let's say, David Brenner did, which was make the masses laugh, which, by the way, is not easier. It's still a very difficult thing to pull off, to walk in front of a room full of strangers and make them laugh. Never easy, no matter what kind of comedy that you're doing. A lot of times people will think, well, you know, what he's doing is easier because he plays the audience. Brian Regan plays the audience, and it's fucking genius. You know, it's genius.
Well, I think a very common thing when you watch a comedy show is like, oh my God, that's so true. That natural thing. that's a very, very big part of why people laugh. It's like relatability. I don't think many people really could relate to the life that Patrice O'Neal led and the person that he was and the way that he thought. But at the same time, it's just a much different skill set. You're talking about just, it's not like one's harder than the other. Like Nate Bargatze, squeaky clean comic, just won the Interrobangs Comic of the Year, which I'd like to give myself some credit because I really did campaign for him.
Did you really?
Yeah, the Gomites really came out in droves.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you had that kind of political power.
Yeah.
Where you could swing stuff. That's exciting.
Yeah.
But by the way, I heard from Colin Quinn, how dare that son of a bitch campaign against me?
I did.
I'm going to fucking crush his career. I'm going to destroy it with everyone I know. What is it, Chris? You want to read something?
I just want to let everyone know Louis J. Gomez is performing at Comics in Mohegan Sun.
We're talking, you know? Louis and I are talking.
Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, Wednesday, January 6th through Sunday, January 10th. MoheganSun.com for tickets and more information. On Twitter, it's at Louis J. Gomez. You can see his sleep scope tonight.
Mohegan Sun, won't you come watch Louis sleep? It's like an Andy Warhol movie. Remember Andy Warhol did that thing?
Yeah.
He just showed people sleeping. By the way, no one showed up for that one. That's what happens when you're avant-garde. Doesn't mean anyone's going to get it.
All the Warhol stories are like, yeah, he came in, he set up the drums at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and he never played them. That was the whole bit. There's nobody there. I mean, literally nobody saw it. It's just some fucking story that I guess sounds cool.
And then later people go, that's genius.
Brilliant.
How do you do it?
Did not play the drums. Talk about somebody who didn't really. But see, they have an interesting thing because after they die, their work becomes more valuable.
Yeah.
Like Basquiat, he was selling his paintings for like $5,000, $8,000. Now those things can go for $100 million. Why? Because he's dead. If he was alive.
Yeah.
Well, once I die, people are going to appreciate. Then you're going to eat your words, Ron. You're going to be like, you know what? He is as good as Bill Burr or David Tell.
No, you know what? I'm eating my words right now. I think you're fucking fantastic, Louis. I don't mind saying, you know what? When I did that to you, I went after a cheap joke. I didn't mean a piece of it.
Low hanging fruit.
Yes, that's you. That's your career. Low hanging fruit. I could just kick it as I'm walking by. I don't even have to grab it.
It's not even hanging.
Yeah. It's already fallen.
Running on the brown fruit.
Yeah. I made that up. You're fantastic.
Oh, shit.
All right, we got to go to... It's always great to have you come in.
Dude, of course. I love talking to you guys. You guys are the best.
Ever?
Show.
I mean, or just say now.
The best show on Sirius XM. I'll say it hands down. And close second is the number 2, The Countdown on Rush 93 every Thursday at 6 p.m.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I always forget. I always forget.
Louis J. Gomez. He's performing at Comics in Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, Wednesday, January 6th through Sunday, January 10th. MoheganSun.com for tickets and more information. The Countdown every Thursday at 6 p.m. on Sirius XM Rush Channel 93. Legion of Skanks airs live every Tuesday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. on AnthonyCumia.com. And on Twitter, it's at Louis J. Gomez. See all his periscopes. And of course, his Sleep Scope tonight.
And might I add also the Real Ass Podcast on the Gas Digital Network every Friday at 12 noon, guys.
Real Ass
I wonder why I never get invited on any of your shows.
I've invited you on every show that I've ever done, except for the Countdown, because I heard you don't like MMA.
Well, I just don't understand it. But I really do want to be on Legions and the Skanks, but now you guys will never have me on. Like, I've asked Big J, and he's always like, oh, really want to take you out to dinner sometime. But it never happens. Yeah. And then he goes... And I go, hey, I really want to come by and do Legions and Skanks. He's like, yeah, right. I go, no, I really do. I can't get booked. Hey, what about Tom Segura? He called us today, and he's got a big special coming
Tom Segura's special, Mostly Stories, premieres this Friday on Netflix, January 8th. You can binge watch it.
Yeah. And go to where the Gomites go, and that's over to the iBang. The Tom Segura special is up. Michael Ian Black has a new book, and there's an article written up. I got to find the young lady's name. What makes a good comedy room?
Kristen Becker.
Kristen Becker. Right, very cool. What would you say, Louis? What makes a great comedy room?
Great comedy room?
Yeah.
Low ceilings.
Low ceilings. Interesting. A lot of people don't know that. What would you say? Because you only do it outside of a bathroom, right?
I was going to do high ceilings.
What would you say, Gail?
I just think intimacy in general.
Tight?
Yeah. I like a tight room.
Very, low drink minimum.
All right. And I always say this, and I believe it 100%, and I owned a club before. Chicken fingers. That's all you really need. Make it a hell of a night for everybody. And for us, See you guys all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!